What is going on, everybody? It is episode 701 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett, and I have several people here helping out with the show today. First of all, directly in front of me, introduce yourself, my dude.
What's up, guys?
Wait, are you not going to break your mewing streak to start the show?
Dude, can't stop, won't stop.
That hair is incredible.
Yeah, so Brett, he lost a bet or something, and
there was a crisis party bet for episode 700 where I said, you know, if we get to this amount, I will wear the crisis party. I will wear the blonde wig for the intro segments of the show. And the rules are, guys, with that is that if we get to 5 crisis parties before the end of the intro, this continues. Every day I will suffer through wearing this as long as we get 5. Oh, no. Trudy Jones seems to already be trying to do that. You want to read those, buddy?
Ooh, yeah. All right. Trudy Jones with 2 $100 super chats. Woo.
Well said.
The first one doesn't have message, but the first one says, "Here's the 2 parties that YouTube wouldn't let me send yesterday. They're trying to keep us down, man."
It's a Matrix
really
attack.
are.
It's a Matrix.
It is a Matrix. I forgot about those.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm Kellen, guys. I'm here. Yeah, let's do this thing.
He's suffering through the hair just like me, and also suffering through the hair just like me. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'd feel better if I could speak to a manager, but
yeah,
making it.
I mean, I don't think there's enough swoop in your hair for that to be a Karen haircut.
Swoop. Yeah. So thanks for explaining how I got roped into this.
Kind of looks like a mullet.
It does.
Well, with my hair in the back, it's definitely a full mullet going on here. So
there is another $100 super chat there from Not That John Stewart.
He says, "Easy peasy." Well, what is there some kind of is there something on the table today? So the rule is whenever we've implemented this,
I will wear this for the intro segments of every show as long as we get 5 crisis parties before the end of that segment today. So we've got the main, before we get to the main topics, I will wear this all the way up until we get to cringe and cue to the day. Once we get there, if we haven't made it to 5 crisis parties, then I'm no longer on the hook to do so. But if you feel like subjecting me to this itchy and very, very uncomfortable wig, which, by the way, if you didn't know, I'm wearing a wig. I know that's crazy, but
he woke up
crazy,
like that.
Bro.
I woke up this way. Sarah said I look like Johnny Bravo, which I take as a huge compliment.
It's true. The black shirt, the sunglasses, the hair, that is Johnny Bravo.
So, guys, we got a bunch of stuff to get into today. It's going to be a lot of fun. Again, Mary will be back on Wednesday, so make sure that you go send her a hello on social media and wish her a good day and tell her to get back to work when she's done. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We got a bunch of stuff to get into. The first thing that we're going to be talking about, we'll get to that 20 after I do this part. Hold on. So over the weekend, what I thought was very funny, on Friday, there was this article that came out where the director of the horrible 2016 Ghostbusters movie, which apparently has a name called Ghostbusters Answer the Call. Everybody just calls it bad 2016 gender swap Ghostbusters. He investigated and found that the reason that his movie failed was because of Donald Trump. And they decided to write articles about this. But not just that, over the weekend, Zachary Levi, you might know him from the show Chuck. That's certainly what I know him best from. But he's also Shazam. He was Shazam in the DCEU back before the DCEU went and crashed on us. He came out and endorsed Donald Trump because he was all in on RFK. And RFK obviously went to endorse Trump, so now he's joining in with that. And it's kind of interesting because I wanted to talk a little bit about the idea of what I call the RFK celebrity, which is what I think of as we use the term politically homeless a lot, and it's kind of like if you're a center right personality. Thank you. Hold please. First crisis party. Put a girl on.
Eating the cats.
Speaking of Donald Trump,
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat.
in the chat, Zachary Bloom says Brett looks like somebody abused by Diddy. That's just mean. That's just mean. You want to read that 20 then?
Yeah. I assume that's Ali Milan.
Okay.
I hope I said that right. She said Brett is having a total Johnny Bravo vibe.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
I read it too quickly at first. I thought it said Brett is having a total meltdown. I'm like, that makes sense.
That's good too. That's good too.
You guys got the good hair wigs.
Yeah.
Just saying. Just throwing it out
there. Another one.
There's another one over there, but Raymond is late today. So, we're so what else? So we're not going to just talk about we're going to talk about Ghostbusters 2016 being Trump's fault. We're going to talk about Zachary Levi endorsing Trump. That's all very serious stuff, which means we also have to talk about fun stuff, which is that women these days, they're out earning men at college. They're out graduating men at colleges. They're out earning men in the workforce, and they're celebrating that by doing what are called success showers. So you know what it is like back in the day, you'd have a baby shower, but nobody's having kids anymore.
Right.
So they're throwing themselves success showers, and that kind of runs headlong into the idea of what is called unconscious unbossing, which is the complete opposite, where it says Gen Z kids are like, that's too much work. I don't want to become middle management.
For some people, their career is their child. It is their baby, the most precious thing. So this is not. Is
that dying out though? I feel like that ends with the millennials and Gen Z's gig economy.
Culture.
Well, of course, if your career is the most important thing to you, and you don't have a kid to pass your life onto and your whatever onto, it ends with you.
So we're gonna get into that. We got a bunch of other stuff. It's gonna be a lot of fun. What else? What's the other one? Oh yeah. So, guys. Hopefully there's actually another crisis party.
Oh my goodness.
Nice.
Yep, we're up there already, guys.
Let's get to 15.
Yeah. We're 2 parties away from me having to wear this tomorrow.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the
I haven't heard the new crisis party yet.
Yes.
It goes hard.
It does go hard.
They're eating the cats.
All right. Okay, so on top of all that, guys, there's another thing going on right now. Everyone talks about the upcoming TikTok ban. Is that still happening?
I don't know. No one's talking about that at all
here's
anymore.
The thing. It might have been a good idea if I did have to allow a bunch of ridiculous government overreach. It might have been good to do it before Hurricane Helene, because TikTok had to issue a warning to everyone because they keep making content in hurricanes and people are getting hurt.
Dude, do you remember, maybe it was Hurricane Ian, that they were like, guys, please don't try to shoot at the hurricane. That's not going to help it. That's not. And honestly, it's really dangerous because the bullet just gets trapped up, it whips around, and then goes somewhere else.
Well, it's one of the worst is when you watch a movie and somebody shoots directly in the air. I'm like, that's got to come down somewhere, right?
I know.
At least shoot into the ground, assuming that you're in the grass and not on the second floor of a building.
People don't really think.
They don't think about that stuff.
They're trying to help.
Yes.
But don't.
I did the same thing. I did the snobby complaints when I was watching Agatha, because in the intro scene, she's playing Agnes, the police detective, and she's wearing a fast draw holster outside the waistband, appendix carry, and she's just asking for somebody to reach and grab it out of her holster.
Yeah.
Is that show out?
Yeah. I've watched all the episodes so far.
That's the argument between open carry and concealed carry always.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, if you're at least open carrying, on the hip, you allow, if you're a cop, you're wearing a suit coat over it or something that covers it up.
Yep.
Right, but she's just, it's sitting right there. I'm like, if somebody was down bad enough in life, they might just. First of all, you never take a gun into interrogation anyways.
Right.
That's just really, really stupid. So, I digress. I won't go back to critiquing that show, but I am still watching it. So we got a bunch of other stuff to get into. It's going to be a lot of fun. Raymond will be here. He got caught up doing work, and this isn't IRL. People just come and go as they please if they want, right? So Raymond will be here. We're going to make him wear that wig.
I want that wig.
You want that one?
I've had that one.
I mean, that's close enough to your actual hair, though.
Yeah.
Well, you can switch it out. I mean, maybe.
No. Raymond is putting that wig on. In fact, that's his punishment for being late.
All right, fair.
There you go.
So that's what he's going to be doing.
All right.
If you guys are ready, we can just go ahead and get started. You ready?
Yeah, let's
I'm
go.
asking you. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. All right, let's get started then. First things first, might be bad news with what's coming up for Joker 2 Folie à Deux, which we will be going to see, by the way, this Thursday. We have special guest Vera Dark on the show on Friday. She will be going to see the movie with us, and then we will be reviewing it on Friday.
It's fun.
Will be a lot of fun. But the box office isn't looking good. In fact, Slash Film has been predicting that it's possible this could go the way of what Aquaman 2 did. And if you guys don't remember, Aquaman, the first one, made a gazillion dollars at the box office because it was just shirtless Jason Momoa the whole time. At least that's still, in my opinion, why it made $1 billion.
Safe assumption.
It was very good timing. Well, now the second one did very, very bad. It made next to nothing at the box office because it was the last film to come out from DC. And a lot of people are like, why do I even need to go see it if none of these characters are going to matter in the next movie.
I know.
Well, right now, the box office opening is going to it's fluctuating as far as the predictions, anywhere between low end of 48 million opening estimate to 70 million high end. But the problem is that's low either way because the first Joker made over $100 million at the box office in the opening weekend.
What's the budget like on this one?
$200 million.
You think that's going to Lady Gaga?
That's well, no, actually more than anything. it goes to Joaquin Phoenix and Todd Phillips because they get to renegotiate their deals, and they're indispensable to the franchise now. So they're getting a large portion of that money.
I've been complaining about this for a while. I don't know why. Like, with the first movie being such a success, I guarantee the reason people are not seeing this is because they don't want to see a musical. Yeah. Like, why on earth you take this dark, gritty action thriller and then you're like, let's have songs. Let's have people singing songs. Like, that's the quickest way to make it unserious.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, you had to... the tone of the first one isn't even really my bag. Like, I'm enjoying The Penguin, but those are in those are like 70-minute bursts of an episode. Right. I don't want to watch dark and gritty all the time for over 2 hours.
Pop Culture Junkie just sent a $20 super chat. Says, Brett, are you starting the new wig party in 2024?
Yes, vote for me. Vote for me. That's what you should do.
No.
The wig party.
The wig party. Yeah, I like The Penguin too. It's easier to digest, and I don't feel like it's all for nothing. Like one of your points was none of these characters are going to matter. The DC cinematic universe has had flop after flop.
Well, and they've rebooted now with James Gunn, and all of his work is separate. And to be fair to him, all of his productions are on budget, are under budget and on time. They're already done with principal photography for Superman, and they finished Creature Commandos, which is an animated series. So he's doing his own thing, but Matt Reeves is different, doing the Batman and the Penguin, and then you've got Todd Phillips who's doing the Joker, which is its own thing entirely. This is actually closer to what I asked them to do a long time ago. I thought doing the DCEU was a mistake to begin with. I thought they should just do individual projects and not worry about tying all of these characters together. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, I just think that people are kind of over it now in a lot of ways.
Say what you want about Marvel, but that's the thing that you can always look forward to is like, hey, this relates to the movies and the universe that I've already come to know.
But it's too much homework now. Now the problem is like people who tuned into Agatha are like, well, I have to watch WandaVision, I have to watch Loki, and before that I had to have watched all the movies to know who Loki is.
Yes, but I'd rather like my choice being like, I'm not going to do my homework versus like enjoying, let's say, a Superman movie and then that being wiped out because they're rebooting it again. You know, so it's like there's nothing you can do about it at that point. If you watch a Marvel movie, it's up to you whether you want to do your homework, as you say. Yeah. You know? Right.
Yeah, like, I mean, maybe the thing is we should just go back to a time where they make one movie for the character every few years. It's really funny. I was looking at this. They did this chart the other day. It was like I should have saved it. I should have sent it to myself. It was like it was like 3 cups of water, and it says every movie trilogy rated. And it was like, gives you glass ratings for each movie in a trilogy. And it was a perfect piece of engagement bait because there were some of them that were just so not accurate to other ones, right? Like the Star Wars one was fairly accurate, but like the Lord of the Rings one listed them as all equal. Terminator 1 was very low behind Terminator 2. I actually disagree with that. I think Terminator 1 is pretty close to as good as Terminator 2, even though most people prefer the second one. But the point is like trilogies is a thing where I don't need those to connect to larger universes. Just make 3 movies with that character.
3 is hard enough to keep up with.
Yeah. And I understand the point is like within comic lore, a lot of these characters do overlap, but there is enough, there's a lot of overlap, sure, but there's also so many characters that you don't need to inherently overlap them just because you know you can. Right. Like, just because you can doesn't mean you should. And what they're doing now, if you guys saw this, so they're making a Bane and supposedly. This is supposedly a Bane and Deathstroke DC villain movie is in development. This is what they should have done, Kellen, instead of doing the second Joker movie. They should have let Todd Phillips tell a gritty spy thriller with Deathstroke as a member of the ASIS and do something like that and connect it to Bane and the League of Assassins.
Is Bane going to be the same? Is this another character that's being rebooted? Or is he going to be the Bane that we know from The Dark Knight?
No. That's long gone. I mean, that's over a decade ago now.
I know they might not use the same actor.
They would recast. They would recast all these characters. But when you look at this on its face, I think that they saw this and they're like, Deadpool and Wolverine did well, so we should do a team-up movie. That's a mistake because these characters have a drastically different tone than those characters.
All of DC, in my if you look at just the album art or not album artwork, the comic book art in DC versus Marvel. Marvel is the poppy, glittery, fun superhero universe. Marvel is the dark and disturbing one, or I mean DC is the dark and disturbing one. That's what they should lean into. I mean, we have our complaints about the Batman, but people liked the gritty nature of it. Yeah. People liked the first Joker because it was dark and disturbing. And now with the Penguin, it's a mafia show.
Actually, that actually points me out to something. Oh, he decided to show up, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome.
He decided to show up.
Hey, that's your punishment right there.
You gotta put it on.
Take your hat off, buddy.
Oh, you're so pretty.
Yes, dude. He's an expert.
Oh,
he put it right on.
I used to be Thor for Halloween. A couple times.
He looks like
okay.
He looks like he could be in a hair metal band.
Yes.
Howdy.
Hi, everyone. You guys look good too.
You definitely look like, you could have been in a White Snake music video back in the 80s.
Oh, speaking of hair metal, what's up with John Cena's DC show? That's like probably one of their best projects.
They're still working. That's in production right now. Season 2 of Peacemaker.
Was that like 3 years now in production?
Yeah, well, we were just talking about this the other day. It's like they're doing production for the second season of Wednesday right now. They're like, why is every show on streaming take 3 years to come out?
Unacceptable.
Right? It's
unacceptable. I could understand if they're doing 20 episode seasons, but they're not.
That is amazing. That's fantastic.
What?
The hair. The hair is fantastic.
There we go. Look at me.
It actually, the funny thing is, Kellen, what you said about Marvel and DC, I just watched this great video I posted. But if you guys follow me on Twitter, I posted about a video Dave Cullen made yesterday about he was dissecting the trailer for the Thunderbolts, and he was talking about moral relativism in Hollywood and how it's being pushed through superheroes to push a morally relativistic worldview. And it's really, really good. He boils it all the way down. He's like, why are all these shows so dark and drab looking? Like, it doesn't look like they spend any money on lighting. Everything looks like... I realized the other day what it is that I hate about shows like Agatha. Not even the story. So do you have this thing, maybe this is just for somebody whose like vision is really bad, but do you ever do this thing where it's like when you're going out at night, it's not dark yet, but the sun is going down and it's not quite dark enough for your headlights to make a difference, but you still have to put them on and you're kind of squinting? That's what everything looks like now. Like everything is shot. It's done that way because CGI has to be, it's easier to hide bad CGI in dark scenery.
Or they're not investing that much into the actual sets, so they need the light to hide stuff.
Yeah. Or it's just a lot of it's like when you're watching Agatha, it's a lot of very clear green screen.
I will say, like, a good way to get uninspired quickly is to watch behind the scenes of Marvel movies, because they're all just standing in front of a giant green screen in a warehouse. Yeah. And I'm like, this completely takes all the magic out of the show or the movie. Yeah. And I'm like, this isn't. That's the thing about Tom Cruise is when he's doing those stunts, it's him, and he's at some exotic location, jumping out of a plane.
He's only allowed to do that now because he can afford to pay for the insurance on his own. Like, they're just not going to let a star, like they're not going to let Robert Downey Jr. stand off the side of a plane unless Robert Downey Jr. cares enough about it to want to be a producer and pay for the insurance.
I was reading who directed the Dark Knight Rises. It was
Nolan.
Nolan did all three.
So Nolan was saying how one of his most favorite things he's ever done was that opening scene in that movie.
Yeah,
with
the plane scene is like, because they actually flew the plane.
They actually dropped a plane in the middle of like Europe, like in the middle of a farmland or what. I don't know where they were, but like that plane crashing like is all real. And it's like you can't mimic that. I'm sorry, with AI, like knowing even if it looks real, knowing that it was real. Adds value.
Well, and the other thing is like Marvel is a different type of CGI, which is like most of the time the best CGI is the CGI you don't notice, right? So it's Marvel's different. It's cosmic storytelling, so it's like all of it looks very fake. Yeah, that's very very different from crashing a plane that's fake. Yeah, right. Those look very different.
That's true.
So
we don't get much more practical effects anymore these days. Everything's CGI.
No, it's one of my biggest problems is like everything these days uses CGI blood, and I would rather they just use squibs and actually like use the mini exploding bullet pack, blood packs, which looks way more real.
Tarantino had in what was the movie with the stunt driver? I always forget. It's
that's
Death something.
Death
not. Anyway,
Death Proof.
Death Proof.
Yes.
So there's a scene where two cars crash, and it's completely real. Two cars actually crashed, and they're old. I forget what car it was, but it's an old, like classic, historic car. Yeah. And when he went around trying to buy them, people were like, "No, you're gonna crash this car? I'm not selling it to you." So then eventually, after like 3 or 4 times, he's like, "Okay, I'm just gonna not tell them what I'm using it for," But he's like, "No, if we're gonna do a car crash scene, it's gonna be real."
When they made Gone in 60 Seconds with Nicolas Cage, they bought 7 Shelby Mustang 500 bodies, and they were like put on other cars, and they crashed 5 of them. I think they had one real one, and the other ones were modified to look like it. And then Jerry Bruckheimer kept, like, they crashed 5, Jerry Bruckheimer kept 1, and Nicolas Cage kept the other.
It's dangerous, though. There's a scene from one of the Transformers movies.
And Nicolas Cage went to, like, extensive driving school to do that movie.
There's danger because there's behind the scenes of one of the Transformers movie, and the cable was attached to a car to fling it away, and it malfunctioned and sent the car. It just sent it absolutely flying, and it crashed into a set, and it was like a huge safety issue. Yeah, it almost hurt people.
I will never accept the Michael Bay slander. I don't care if his storytelling leaves much to be desired. As long as he keeps blowing things up, that's all I expect from him.
We have a super chat, $50 super chat from Leia. It says, first super chat ever, but worth it to keep the parties going and to keep Brett in that super Chad wig. Let's go. That's what I said.
Well, we're getting there.
Is there a rule?
That one. So the rule is we've got.
There's no context.
We got
to
a
this
couple.
for Raymond.
We got a couple of more
none.
stories to cover here, but if we get to 5 crisis parties before the end of the intro segments, I will wear this again tomorrow, and that bet goes on until it fails. Like once we get one day without it, then I am free and clear of the wig.
This is all on Brett. We don't have to do this. But we are here in solidarity.
I was there on Friday when it happened with the bet and everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm surprised that you're going to keep it going. I know you were against it.
So as long as
of his word.
So if we get 5 today, I will wear it tomorrow. If we get 5 tomorrow, remember, it has to be before the end of the intro. So you're on a clock here, guys. All right, let's move on. Let's check out some of this other stuff. Oh, I did also want to point out here. Here's some wholesome of the day for you. Yes, Kellen is mewing. Feel free to.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Yeah,
can't stop.
He's not breaking his mewing streak. He's not going to do that. All right, here we go. So Johnny Depp, he went to the hospital dressed up as Captain Jack Sparrow, and this is I love this stuff. This is very, very wholesome. Here we go. Here, full screen. He's been doing this for years too.
Oh, that's good on him.
He is acting drunk. I was gonna ask.
Look, I love it. It's a small clip, but it's important.
Shane H. Wilder with a 20 says, Raymond, I need you to sing "You're in the Jungle, Baby. You're gonna die." Also, when did Kellen join the Counting Crows?
Oh, you do kind of look like it. Yes. What song is that? When did the music die?
Welcome to the jungle.
Welcome to the jungle. You got funny games. Anything you want.
Guns
That was
N' Roses.
perfect. That was perfect.
Love it.
I mean, I don't know if me and you, you'd have to put sunglasses on. I don't know if regular glasses are very hairband.
Oh yeah, if it was sunny today, I would have had them.
There you go.
They would have came in dark.
Yeah. All right, so I thought clips like this are important given, everything that happened with Johnny Depp just a couple of years ago. It's a big deal to kind of be back in the spotlight and doing something like this.
Yeah.
When it very easily could have gone the other way and he could have been persona non grata the world over, and he wouldn't be doing things like this. But I posted the other day also a list of the top 15 most successful movie franchises of all time. And those Pirates of the Caribbean movies are in that list. They're in the top. I think it's in the top 15 at least. So that character is beloved by a lot of people.
There was probably about 10 years ago at this point, because I grew up in Maryland. There was a guy in Maryland, a rich guy, that he had a Lamborghini and he blacked it out so it looked like the Batmobile. Got
nice.
a Batman license plate, and he would dress up as Batman and visit these children's hospitals. And he wasn't partnered. I think he got in trouble. They sued him for
DC did?
Wearing the character,
DC or something.
That's
yeah,
shitty too.
Okay,
it's crazy, but the how he'd make these little kids feel that are truly in a dark place.
I think Tom Holland does it as well. I don't know if he goes dressed up as Spider-Man, but I think he does go to a lot of these hospitals and visits a lot of these types of things. That story, it's very much like the Spider-Man story, but I've told the story on the show a ton of times about how Marvel wouldn't let a dad put Spider-Man on his son's
I remember
gravestone,
that.
Oh, yeah.
That's
which is just
bullshit.
awful.
Yeah.
Well, Disney's gonna Disney.
Yep.
I mean, that's what they do.
litigious as they are. All right, let's move on then, shall we? We got a bunch more to get into today. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I want to talk a little bit about the fact that Tuah Girl has become very, very successful. The number 3 podcast in the entire world right now.
She's very smart.
It just goes to show you, nothing is by circumstance. Nothing's by chance.
Well, I think a big part of this is like she partnered with like the Paul brothers with the Better Network, right? So I was thinking about it because I went and listened to some. Like I'm not the target demographic for her show. That is very, very true, right? I went and listened to an episode, and I imagine that women will love this type of show. It seemed like it would be very interesting to the girls, but she's in a realm where it's like all of those podcasts are kind of like she's getting smeared. And I say smeared because it's not fair to her if she's not, as like some type of right-wing pundit, just because all of the other podcasts in the top 10 tend to be right-wing podcasts. So they're like calling her like a conservative podcaster, and there's nothing in any way. She's just a person. Yeah. And then what it's become is like we now live in a world where anything that doesn't fall rigidly into like leftist orthodoxy gets labeled conservative.
She has a southern accent.
Yeah. But what does that even mean? But what does that even mean, right? So
not to pour water all over your flame here, but did you check the other charts? Because Spotify does skew a certain way, and I don't think she's doing nearly as well on Apple, Google, or Amazon.
Well, I mean, but Spotify is right now like the most used podcast platform
media app,
as far as I know, right? Like I was told recently from someone that like Apple, like they're like falling off as far as podcasts.
They just have them. I don't think they're giving deals out to anyone like Spotify does.
Do they have the list of who she beat out and who?
We can.
the
top 10
list?
We can go look at it.
I think Chartable.com shows you the list of all the podcasts.
This is what I find funny about it, though. More than any of that. So the hardest thing for her will be to like hold that position because there's a lot of new interest right now with like 3 episodes out. So that's very, very different from consistent success, like someone like Matt Walsh or Joe Rogan or Tucker Carlson, who are the number 1 and the 2, and they kind of, I feel like they sit there at 1 and 2 consistently.
This makes sense though, because the top 2 podcasts are information people care about. It's about important events, right? And then number 3 is Haley's Talk to a podcast, because the stakes are so low. It's like watching a Fast and Furious movie.
It's literally what this what I aspire this podcast to be, which is I don't want you to have to watch this and get anxious about shit. I want you to be able to put it on while you're doing other stuff and have it as something to listen to. So I'm not throwing shade at her. I think that I listen to it. It's not for me, but she's only 3 episodes in, and it takes time to find your groove and find your voice.
And I think it's okay that like that's why those, not to be completely derail here, but that's why like Seinfeld still holds up, because they didn't try to get overtly political and bring real issues into the show. It was just a silly show you could put on and forget. That's why guys like sports, because it doesn't matter.
One clip of him not wanting to wear the ribbon.
Oh, that's
it's pretty prescient still to this day.
Yeah, I remember.
It's like I support it. I just don't want to wear.
Why don't you want to wear the ribbon?
So this is the other thing that I found funny about it. So I think one of the issues is like most of the people who have these podcast platforms, right? They have a message that they're going through. Joe Rogan is like he'll take just about anyone on that's interesting, has an audience and something to say, and then he gives them a very unique conversation where it's like, hey, it's Tulsi Gabbard. She's talking about all this stuff. How about aliens, huh? He likes to bring up stuff like that, and I think Joe Rogan is a fantastic interviewer. Tucker Carlson is doing a lot of hard news and stuff like that, stuff people care about. Matt Walsh, all of the Daily Wire guys, much in the same boat. But this is what I found funny. So you take a new host who's only really known for a viral social media clip, and what you get is now people have turned her into a meme where they then transpose their own causes because nobody actually knows what she believes about anything. And she became a viral meme for just about anyone who wants to promote something. So I've got a bunch of different viral clips where Tuah goes viral for. The thing is, she didn't say any of this. That's the best part. So this one says, Tuah recently went viral for her rant on the overuse of advanced machine learning models by junior quant researchers. So the thing is like, because that's not the first one I saw. The first one I saw was like about soccer, and the second one I saw was about football. And I bought it. I'm like, oh, wow, she's got varied interests. She likes soccer and football. Holy shit, right? So if you don't know a lot about the host, you can just make them increasingly more absurd until you finally hit the realm of like, okay, there's no way. She talked about nonlinear methods and complete black boxes, despite the limitation of these models to deal with the high risk of overfitting. Obviously, that didn't happen, but I want to share some of these other ones that I thought were very, very funny. This one, Tuah recently went viral on the misconception that single-family zoning protects neighborhoods. Actually, single-family zoning creates less tax revenue per unit of infrastructure. It incentivizes car-centric development, which promotes poor health and social isolation.
She knows her stuff.
She knows her stuff.
Very good.
I also, by the way, guys, I want to take a moment. Everyone here knows that I love the Instagram channel Cities by Diana, which is Gen Z brain rot around urban planning. Her channel has been demonetized on Instagram. Free my girl, Cities by Diana. We need to get her monetization back.
Free D.
So I'm looking at Chartable for her show, and look at these comments they've posted.
Okay.
Best podcast ever. I've spent years listening to podcasts like Smart Less and the Joe Rogan Experience. Talk Tuah is better than anything I've ever heard. Talk Tuah. This saved my marriage and my relationship with my kids. Would recommend.
That's awesome.
Dude, this is like, this joke is like an inside joke everyone's going in, like everyone's in on.
Yeah.
But it's in every platform, every medium. It's awesome.
Here's another one that I thought was very, very good. It says, Tuah recently went viral discussing how ridiculous it would be to bury all power lines. Not only do you need to excavate, add more manpower, and use thicker conductors, but instead of one man fixing a fault in 20 minutes, it would take 10 men 2 days. Of course.
Is this what manifesting is? Like, you know, when she gets to episode 500, will she actually have these nuanced takes?
Yes, she will. Tuah recently went viral for her rant on why 22LR is not an effective self-defense cartridge. Firstly, its small caliber lacks the stopping power needed to immediately incapacitate an attacker, potentially requiring multiple shots to achieve the same effect as a larger. We need to get her take on 380. I need to know what she thinks about 380 ammunition.
On the edge of my seat about that one.
Tuah recently went viral for her rant on the 2017 Astros. I completely bought this one when I first saw that. I'm like, maybe she likes baseball that much. They were 53-28 on the road, the best road record in the MLB that year. They scored over 500 runs away, 395 at home. Tell me again how a trash can at Minute Maid helped them win. It didn't. Numbers don't lie.
That one's so believable.
So believable,
yeah.
So believable.
So what does she actually talk about?
She was just talking about
it's
dating,
nothing,
and it was literally nothing.
Is it like Call Me Daddy
dating
type?
and relationships and stuff like that.
Did she dethrone call her daddy?
You have to look it up on the charts there. No, it was a lot of like personal stories. She was talking to this lady from The Bachelorette. Again, I'm a dude. My brain started to like zone out.
But you know, because like
points.
if I'm not, I didn't ever watch Call Her Daddy, but from what I understand, it's kind of like a pro-feminist kind of podcast. They do a lot of relationship advice. So if she's just being a regular person and not trying to be decisive, people might love that. You know, it's a welcome relief. I don't want to, you know, not that it's fear-mongering, but I don't want to like feel hate all the time, and that's what a lot of these podcasts thrives on. You know,
but the point is she's being labeled now, and they're not really giving her a choice. This was from an article from Fast Company. It says the MAGA cloud around Talk Tuah. That's what they say. Welch is not a political podcaster. In fact, she's even upset the alt-right when they're referring to Laura Loomer because she said that she wouldn't hawk Tuah on Donald Trump. That's what she said.
I wouldn't
they
either.
asked her if she would.
That's a fair point in her case.
Yeah, it's just like you get labeled anything if you don't fall rigidly in line with what the leftists want, and that's it's sad that I think it's an offshoot of something we're going to be talking about later, which is like everything has to have a label put on it, everything has to be named and categorized.
Especially right now with the election coming around too, it all has to be politically named too.
Yep. So,
and if you're not, you're scary, and people will like. If you're like, I don't want to have an opinion on this, you'll also receive backlash for having the wrong opinion. Right? Like, so it's like you have to agree with some of these people, and if you refuse to agree or disagree, you're an outcast.
Yeah.
You know.
All right, guys. Look, you've got about a minute before the bet is over, and you got to get 2 crisis parties. Technically, you got to do 1 1/4. So You guys got very, very little time here. We're sitting at, was it 4:43? Yeah, we need $60 if we're gonna do it. Sorry, guys. That's what they're gonna have to do.
Shucks.
I give them a couple things. Actually, you know what? Here's the thing. What I'll do. That was the fourth one. I realized that I would set that one up manually. Here's the thing, guys.
Eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat.
Okay, I'm gonna give some leeway here because it says, according to the stream, it says 4:43, but the Crisis party count only says 3. So yeah.
Listen, we've got
That's
too
what
much
it is.
Riz right now. We're disrupting the system, man. It can't count the Crisis parties accurately.
That's exactly what happened.
Speak for yourselves.
Yep.
Riz
I don't know if
maxing.
this is the
Right,
best look for
We
me.
will let this go through Cringe and Cute of the day, and if it happens, it happens. So there it is, guys. I am but a fair podcast host. Let's do Cringe of the day first. This one isn't too bad, except for the fact that it reminded me of a past. Oh, there's a 20 there.
Yep, from the Base Eater. Sorry, I was not able to say hello during episode 700, but congrats, and here's to many more.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah, guys, again, I do want to thank all of you for coming out for episode 700. 4 hours of just nonstop interaction was really surreal and a lot of fun. It was a really, really great show. It's really funny, like those episodes. One of the things about this show is like every day when we're done, I have to like cut up the segments to make the content for the video portion of the channel that's not live. And you know, when you do those streams, you just can't because it's literally just nonstop interaction.
Right,
So.
and I've had conversations with this with people that, especially the production crew, that sometimes there's that type of show is more valuable to the viewer than the super structured shows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We have another $20 super chat from the Base Eater. Says the B in my name is silent.
Oh, is it?
Ace Eater.
Keep mewing, my friend. All right, who remembers when we had to talk about this one, except piss jugs? Who remembers piss jugs?
No.
No? There was a video of a guy.
I remember this
Sarah was here
one.
for that. Well, here is a guy who is curling them.
Oh, I do know. Is this the where he puts it in front of the fan?
Get it, buddy. Okay.
In my heart, I hope that's really just apple juice.
Yeah.
Because that bro, he needs to drink some water. Because his urine is very, very dark. He might be sick. That's all I'm saying.
Hydrate,
Gross.
bro. Hydrate.
There's a 20 there.
From Luscious Lucian says, congrats to episode 700. It was very entertaining while I worked. Hashtag justice for Derpy Mocha.
There will be no justice for Derpy Mocha. There
We
never
should
has
get a
been, there
wig
never will
like
be.
this for Mocha.
Yep.
That'd be funny.
That means you got to
Oh,
see
okay. So
cat
yeah,
wig.
Yeah.
Mocha would actually be able to do that. Like Chloe is like you even try to like Chloe is oddly enough more affectionate by choice, meaning like when she wants to come and like give you affection, she will. Mocha's just very docile and doesn't give you affection, but will take it if you give it to her. She will let you pick her up and hold her.
Doesn't sound like she's really all there.
No, she's not.
Derpy Derp.
That's a very good way of putting it. Somebody should clip that and talk about how how derpy Mocha is and how she's not all there. In the chat, they're saying that those are definitely not apple juice. Well, then that's even worse because he's definitely
Yeah, the one
curling-
looks real cloudy.
His grunts are what are more disturbing.
No, it's the.
Yeah.
Listen, he's got medical problems, and when he moves like that, there's a lot of pain going on.
And then what are they, like
that's a
7
painful
pounds a
grunt.
piece?
Yep.
He's grunting 7 pounds.
Oh, that's gross. All right. For a palate cleanser, let's go ahead and do cute of the
You
day.
okay over there,
then,
Raymond?
shall
I'm
we?
having a hard
Justin,
time. I haven't had this
So you
long hair
look-
since I was a teen.
Okay. All right, let's go ahead and do cute of the day then. We got a bunch of stuff to show you here today. So first things first, this one's from Gold Digger Comic Universe Review. It says, Callie flopping down in the shade as I pick cherry tomatoes. For a cat, she is very odd and she loves belly rubs. Yes, most of the time they don't.
No, yeah.
They don't. Especially having her belly rubbed as you cradle her in your arms like a baby.
No.
She'll make biscuits in your beard as you rub her belly.
Well, that makes sense. Like
Do you want to trade for Mocha?
it makes sense why animals
Oh, they did it.
Did they?
Is that 5?
I'm double checking.
Is that 4 or 5?
Yes. It says 4 on the screen. That is 5.
Brett has to wear the wig.
The cat. Meow.
You're doing it again tomorrow.
All right.
Oh yeah, you're in tomorrow.
Oh,
too.
one of the plans that we had was to add Mocha's disgusting meow after when he says eating the cats.
Yeah.
What did that cat do to you? His disgusting meow.
Well, no. Everyone here who was here on Friday heard it. It is a disgusting meow.
Is it? Okay.
It is.
Okay.
What is
All
that?
right, I
How
believe
is
you.
it disgusting?
I'm not gonna make you. Actually, you know what? I can make.
Is
you
it just
listen to
scary?
I can make you listen to it right now. As a matter of
Did
fact.
you see Shane H's Wilder's video about the rockin' bro? Okay.
Let me find Olivia's post about it, where you get to hear the actual clip and you can listen to it here. Here you go. It's she sent this to us for episode 700.
Hey Brett, hey Mary, happy episode 700. I'm so proud of you guys and all the hard work you put into the show each and every day. And for episode 700, I have somebody who wants to say hello to you.
It's an absolutely disgusting
That cat
sound.
knew exactly what the assignment was.
No, it's that.
And it delivered.
It's that every single time.
That sounds like when you look up ringtones for like cats
Yes.
screaming. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, it's awful. All right, let's do one more cute of the day. Again, so palate cleanser after having to hear that, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that. All right, this one is from Sweet Beats. Guess I'm not running today.
Oh, that one is
Aw.
nice.
No.
That is very cute.
Wait.
All right, guys. Let's go ahead now that we're 41 minutes into the show. You can remove your hair now if you'd like. Watch Kellen's taking his off right now.
Okay.
Mine is itchy.
It's probably all the lice.
Yep. So you guys did do it, which means tomorrow I will have to once again wear the
Oh, I
wig.
thought you had to wear it for the rest of the show.
No. So it
Every day.
continues
That's
every
what I
day
thought,
for
too.
the
Okay, so
it
it's just-
continues every day. So another day I have to wear it for the intro topics starting tomorrow.
Okay.
Again tomorrow if they accomplish said goal again, then they get to completely humiliate me again. I guess as humiliating as it is to look like
It's
Johnny
like
Bravo
day
every day.
54
Yeah, you look
of
solid,
wearing
bro.
a wig.
Yeah. Oh darn. All right, let's go ahead and get started then, shall we? We got a bunch of stuff to get into, so let's talk about it. First things first. Over the weekend, I saw a bunch of stories involving Hollywood and Donald Trump. They seem to always be happening because everybody's right now is all of Hollywood is campaigning for Kamala Harris, which is going on. But one who broke from the pack is actor Zachary Levi, who had initially endorsed RFK, came out at this event and decided to throw his weight behind Donald Trump, and he has endorsed him, saying that he is going to help us take back this country. I thought this was kind of crazy because, he did his thing. He promoted RFK. And in Hollywood, for somebody in that realm, you have to start wondering whether it's going to cost you work. Now, it's funny because that's what all the comments were saying right away. He did start getting roasted right off the bat.
Of course.
They were pointing out that his last 2 movies didn't go very well, meaning Shazam 2, and he did Harold and the Purple Crayon. And they were saying, like, look, it's the failure
actor.
to act to right-wing pipeline. But the thing is Zachary Levi's been pretty open about his beliefs for a long time. He grew up in a Christian conservative household that he described them as fans of JFK who became, JFK Democrats who became Reagan Republicans. And he's in an industry that for the most part incentivizes silence if you don't agree.
Well, yeah, and that's just it. Like, it's crazy to think that, like RFK's endorsement of Trump was so huge because this is exactly why you had people that all they care about is like making America healthy again, standing up for the little guy, and that, like, to summarize his whole campaign, that's what RFK was about, right? And now those people are like, okay, well, if RFK is going to be a part of Trump's ticket in some way, shape, or form, not the ticket itself, but the administration, like, that's all I care about. I want to get all the junk and poison out of our food. Like, I want to have, promote good, healthy eating habits and lifestyles. And it should not be controversial to think that.
Well, that's the thing is, like, what happened back in the day, this is actually something that I took down in my notes, is like, what I've noticed is, like, if we were to analyze, and actually, you know what, before we get started, remember, celebrity endorsements don't mean anything. They never have, they
It's
never will.
hilarious.
Doesn't matter if they agree with you or they don't agree with you. It doesn't actually matter. At least that's my opinion.
I know people always give it more weight than it deserves,
Yeah.
but this year seems especially bad with how, like, it seems like it's only celebrity endorsements people are talking about, and not the actual politicians.
But my point was, like, if you're a celebrity and you're endorsing Kamala Harris, you're using the platitude of saving our democracy. It's a lot of talk of democracy,
and women,
and again,
women.
And it's a lot of talk about reproductive rights. I will at least give them the credit, even if I disagree with them, that talking about reproductive rights is at least supposedly topic policy specific, even though it's not a policy that's actually supposed to be even on the ballot, because they don't understand that Trump has said that he wouldn't sign an abortion ban even if one was presented to him. So they're really just misinformed about these things. But most of the time when you talk about RFK voters in Hollywood, they seem like the same type of old school disaffected liberal who might be more left leaning than one who might have been a classic blue dog Democrat who might care more about stuff like guns or
I think there's a lot of people in Hollywood like that. They just won't come and speak up and come forward. And I think that if more and more people follow this, it'll become something that's not so astonishing and taboo, and it'll just be normal like it was once, you know, to endorse someone and not necessarily have it be one ticket every time.
Well, one of the things that I saw people saying was like, and it's a cynical view, is people saying a celebrity saying that they support RFK is really just a celebrity saying that they want to vote for Trump, but they don't have the guts to say so. But the reason they don't want to destroy their career.
The reason why we keep seeing like celebrity endorsements becoming headlines in the news is like there's a lot of like, I don't want to say fear mongering, but people are like, oh, watch out, the social credit score is coming. Guys, it's already here. That's why Kim Kardashian's endorsement matters, because her 2 million followers, however much she has, is the value, right? That it for some reason people think that means it's authentic and trustworthy because they've got so many followers on social media.
They talk about that.
Social credit.
They talk about that with actors now. Like, unfortunately for the studios, just your ability as an actor isn't enough to necessarily get you hired if you're newer. Like if you're older, like we just covered the story on Friday during episode 700 about fake Brad Pitt going out and scamming.
Oh yeah.
Brad Pitt doesn't have social media, right? But the point is Brad Pitt can get all the roles he wants. He's Brad Pitt. But a lot of these new actors that are coming into the fold, they're saying like, look, you don't have enough of a social media presence for this role.
It's like you have to be advertiser, not marketable, because you've always had to be able to be marketable to be in these big Hollywood movies, but now you have to be advertiser friendly.
Yeah.
And that's not that you're going to say something wrong, but everything needs to gel the right way. Like you need to, do the TikTok dances, right? And if you refuse, sorry, you're not right for this role, buddy.
There was this like reporter who would make all these. She would always end up on the For You page where her whole thing was like she would do TikToks, and her co-host on the Daily News was just. He would grumpily stay out of them. And I guess that was like his character, because obviously if he didn't want to be in the videos, he wouldn't be in the videos. But the whole thing would be her doing TikTok dances and him looking really, really annoyed at her doing the TikTok dances. You have to at least be willing to do that. Otherwise, you're of no use to them.
I will say, like, it becoming normalized, like this TikTok kind of social media atmosphere. It's like when you eat too much cake and then you get sick and you don't want to eat anything, you don't want to eat any sweets for like a week. That's what I'm seeing happening with like the social media presence of politics, right?
Yeah.
Like there was maybe it was the governor of Massachusetts, some politicians up in the Northeast in New England, they were doing a TikTok dance. It was so unbelievably cringe. And
it's very unserious.
And people like, you are here to lead a state or a locale. You are not here to be a celebrity. You are not here to be likable. But now you have the likes of AOC and even Trump, for that matter, where the celebrities are becoming politicians.
Well, here's one of his clips, which is what one of the things that I find funny about all this is like, if you take 5 minutes to actually listen to any of what they have to say, it's so rational sounding that it's very hard to place them in some type of evil bubble. But I digress. You should listen to this clip here.
I was going to say this is a very good clip.
Yeah.
But the thing I wanted to say, and this is to Bobby's point, we are, and you all know this, we are being inundated every single day with poison, not just in the foods that we're eating and not just in the pharmaceuticals that are being shoved down our throats. In the images that we are looking at, the audio that we are hearing through our media, we are being poisoned and lied to. And hear me, we're all being poisoned and lied to. So as we go to the polls, as you guys and your passion and your fervor and wanting to get Donald Trump reelected and recognizing that that is the thing that we need to do, recognize that all of the people on the other side that still believe that Kamala is the answer. They're not, she's not, but they are being lied to. They are not the enemy. They are not evil. There is evil at the top of that food chain. But the American people that believe that Kamala is the way, they are not evil people. They have been lied to, and they have eaten that lie, and it is in them. So to the best that we can do, may we practice grace. May we practice forgiveness. May we practice patience.
I mean, a lot of people are so far past that right now.
Well, I will say
that's the problem.
The retort
right?
here is not that they're being lied to and they're misinformed, but then they go out of their way and jump down people's throats. Yeah. All right, whether or not you're misinformed, that is not acceptable behavior.
The gall
to
of
ostracize people.
Like, it's bad behavior to begin
opinions.
with, but it's then people are like, to have the gall to behave that way and be misinformed is to a lot of people
you can
unforgivable.
cut them some slack on being wrong, but their behavior, like, that's on them, man.
Yep.
So like,
I will push back a little bit against. Okay, so when Harold and the Purple Crayon was coming out, Zachary Levi was making lots of Instagram posts about RFK. I'm like, shouldn't you be promoting your movie? I get annoyed when celebrities get obsessive about politics. Like, I get it. You're like, this guy inspires you, so you want to campaign for him. You care a lot about it. But your social media presence to these companies also means that you have obligations to fill. And I'm like, it's probably it does a disservice to the productions you're trying to put out there when you're doing one thing, but you should probably be focusing on doing other stuff as well.
Well, a couple things. One, I'm wondering, because he is very, I don't want to say presidential here, but he seems like he's not a rookie to the political sphere with this clip. He's very well spoken. He's speaking in a way that there's not much nuance to what he's saying. It's very like surface level that anyone can understand. And you got to realize, people that watch this show, you're not who he's speaking to.
No.
Right? You guys at home that watch this show, or Timcast IRL, you are not the target of that speech. It's most Americans are the target of that speech. The ones that just want to work and to put the ball game after work when they get home, right? That's who he's speaking to. And the fact that he's being attacked relentlessly for this speech and for this event shows how threatening that is to the other side, because it's rational. It's normal. It's RFK branded himself as just the candidate that makes sense. Yeah. You know? And this is a showcase. It's showcasing that.
But this is the type of stuff that you end up getting when you choose to speak up. And I'm sure this wasn't. Right. It was not necessarily risky to vote for RFK, for him to endorse RFK. It is risky for his career to endorse Trump. Like I said, I do make the joke all the time. I'm like, look, none of these actors, as good as what the Daily Wire is doing right now, none of them want to only make Daily Wire movies for the rest of their lives. They don't want to just make Angel Studios movies for the rest of their lives. They want to be able to work throughout the industry. Otherwise, if they care about their craft, they're not going to get all the stories that they actually want to tell if they're limited because of the bigoted views of the people that run these studios, who will refuse to hire them because, in a very magnanimous way, tells you that he disagrees with you. Like, if what you just heard there is enough to, kick him from a job, that's a problem.
And it wasn't really fiery language either. He's just like, hey guys, I want to our food's not good.
Yeah,
our food's not good.
Nice the other side.
But here's
he didn't
some
even
of
name
the
any names. He was kind of very neutral.
Here's some of the takes that we were saying. He says, Zachary Levi, after everything I did for you, you made me do this. And the guy's like flipping off a poster of Harold and the Purple Crayon. They were talking a lot about Batista and stuff like that, because he made a video of him going to vote for Kamala early.
Freedom.
Really?
Zachary Levi is who Twitter thinks Chris Pratt is. That's a very interesting take, because Twitter hates Chris Pratt. Then this one says, this is a huge endorsement. If everyone who saw Shazam 2 votes for Trump, he may get as many as 5 or 6 extra votes. They were just being petty and catty because they don't agree with him.
Well, politics are boring, right? Yeah. People, they don't want all the nuance and the infighting, and they just want someone that's speaking calmly, rationally, and that's what he's giving them.
Yep. So it's something interesting to think about, and it's sad, and I am looking forward, guys, to when the election cycle is over, because it means we won't have to cover as many stories like that. Certainly it's interesting, and most of the time it's us covering, some celebrity endorsed Kamala. Okay, whatever, but it gets old after a while. This one, however, is more fun. Okay. Paul Feig. He's the director of the ill-fated 2016 Ghostbusters movie that nobody on planet Earth actually likes.
That masterpiece?
Yes, exactly, that masterpiece. Well, he wanted to figure out why his movie failed. So you know what he did? He put on his detective hat and his monocle, and he went out and he investigated why the hell the gender-swapped 2016 Ghostbusters movie failed. And he has finally gotten an answer. He's come to a conclusion. He says it was Donald Trump's fault. It was Donald Trump's fault that the movie failed. He investigated, and he says Trump came out against us. Remember, Trump was like, yeah, they're making the Ghostbusters women now. He says that clip, that's why Ghostbusters 2016 failed. Not the poor storytelling, not the awful, humor, which doesn't even line up with what the original Ghostbusters movie was like. Not all of that. It was Donald Trump's fault. So he says, this is his quote. He says, then Trump came out against us. He was like, they're making the Ghostbusters with only women. What's going on? And then got all upset. Everyone went effing cannibal. It turned the movie into a political statement, as if to say, if you're pro-women, you're going to see this. If you're not, then I don't think it mattered at all as the main characters were women, but people brought a lot of baggage. The problem is the stars acted the same way and complained about racism and sexism because people didn't like the trailer to their movie.
It's a definition of being a sore loser. Yeah. I mean, you see this with professional athletes, and they'll blame the refs for why they lost the game. And all that can have an impact, and that can be a factor, as is Trump's comments. Bro, you just went out there and played a bad game. You just went out there and put out bad art.
Well, my
I'm looking
dad's
at other stuff he's produced too, and I've never heard of.
My dad's rule was, my dad was a hockey coach. He coached me when I played, and he said, "Look, if you lose a game by one call, you didn't do well enough to secure a victory."
100%, 100%.
If one call is enough to cost you a game, then that's your problem. Right?
Solid advice.
Right, and it's naive to think Trump's statement had no impact. Yep. I'm sure it did. But to say this is 100% the reason it flopped, bro, you're a sore loser, man.
No, gender swap characters is still a topic of contention to this day. To this day, it's a problem.
I don't remember Remember when they gender swapped Ocean's 13?
Ocean's 8.
Ocean's 8.
No, that movie actually did fairly well given its budget size.
And I didn't really hear any complaints about.
The Oceans. There was a little bit, but look, I also make the point most of the time. I say, look, with gender and race swaps, if you get a good enough actor, they don't care. They did not secure actors that gave them any likability when they made Ghostbusters. Melissa McCarthy, Leslie Jones, none of these people inspired any amount of confidence. It's also probably true that comedy is harder to do in that respect than a drama. If you race swap a character or gender swap a character in a dramatic role and you get a really, really good dramatic actor, people are going to have a lot less problems.
Right. But it's not get me the best actor anymore. It's get me, I need a black actor, an obese actor, and a disabled actor, and then whoever else.
There's a reason why when Idris Elba's name comes up when they talk about race swapping James Bond, even though I do think it is a mistake and they shouldn't do it, there's a reason why people will scoff less at him doing it than if you get just generic dude number 5 who nobody's ever heard of, right? Denzel Washington, I mentioned this, this came up on Friday as well during the show. I mentioned that Denzel Washington did Man on Fire, which was a race swap version of a movie from a decade prior. He also did The Equalizer, which was also a race swap, but people don't see that. What they see is Denzel Washington. But that's what matters.
It's also this behavior and the rhetoric coming from these directors and writers and even actors and actresses sometimes that there's an expectation that you must enjoy this product. Yeah. And if you don't, you are the problem. And it's like, dude, no, you've completely lost the plot.
Also, people had been waiting a very, very, very long time to get new Ghostbusters content like this. And it was much better received when they went back and they did it was 2018 when they did Ghostbusters Afterlife, which pays very, very good attention to detail. It tells a different story. It doesn't try to follow the same formula. And it pays homage to Harold Ramis and all of this stuff. And the director, it was done with care and respect for the original source material in a way that the 2016 movie was not. It was not what people would call corporate slop.
Well, look at John Wick, right? They just put out their trailer for Ballerina. And you know what they didn't do? They didn't gender swap John Wick. It was they wanted, maybe Ana de Armas was just the best person that auditioned, but maybe they wanted a female protagonist. But they didn't just gender swap John Wick. They created a side story. Like, we're going to keep it in this universe, but we're going to tell a new story.
Plus, if you've seen the movie Knock Knock, you know that Ana de Armas beats John Wick any day of the week.
Yeah, for real.
Everyone knows that, right? And the great thing about that trailer was when they take the care in the trailer to explain that women are smaller and less. Did you watch the trailer for it?
Yeah.
It says you're smaller, you're weaker, you're always going to have a disadvantage. Cheat.
Yeah.
Like it's great. That's actually
real.
it's very good advice. Poke him in the eyes, kick him in the balls. That's what you have to do.
what I was
okay,
taught.
but
Yeah.
like that's hilarious and everything. But like when you are in the ocean and they teach you how to survive a shark attack, what do?
Okay.
You poke them in the eyes. You punch them in the gills. Right? When there's something, an animal that's stronger than you got to do what works.
Yep. And here's the thing. So in the chat, Ben Ryder says Denzel is just a great actor. Yes, the best way to avoid any type of politicization of your character swap is to just hire a really good actor. Oddly enough, I did also make the point on Friday. I said they did a faux gender swap of Matlock. And I said, okay, fine. Then I want Murder, He Wrote with Keith David. But the point is, there's actually an Equalizer TV show with Queen Latifah,
Yes.
which just seems awful to me. But on network television, that stuff goes 5-6 seasons.
Yeah, she's on like 4 already, I think.
Yeah, it's already on like its 4th
Jeez.
season. I will never watch an episode of it, but network TV will take all the slop. Movie will not.
Yeah.
But even that, Queen Latifah's a bigger name than just a nobody. So you're probably coasting on her name and the name of the franchise alone, even if it's not that good.
And
Right?
she's like a 55-year-old bigger woman fighting crime,
Yeah.
beating up dudes.
Yeah, totally.
Well, you know,
believable.
Melissa McCarthy, she has a lot of. I think she's got a handful of spy flicks where she's like an action star.
Those are comedies,
Sure,
like spy
but no
flicks,
one
though.
complains about that
No.
because it's an original story.
Yep.
You know, and that's all we're asking.
Well,
of these
the
directors.
problem is what they risk is like nobody caring. That's honestly the risk. There was a movie that came out like 2 years ago called The 355. It was a bunch of female spies. Literally nobody's seen it.
Interesting.
Never heard of
Yeah,
it.
never.
Charlie's
heard of it.
Angels already did it.
Charlie, well, yeah,
Like-
but that was already a female. Charlie's Angels is already a franchise, right? And even that can be done wrong, as we learned in 2019 when they did the Elizabeth Mitchell, or what's her name, that version of it, which nobody liked and nobody saw. So, yeah, I don't think that it's really gonna. I don't think that it's Donald Trump's fault that your movie failed. I think that if one person tanked your movie, then you've got way worse problems.
What we're
going.
seeing right now reminds me of what you see with like industry and manufacturing in China, where they take a really great product and they just change it a little bit, make it cheaper, and you're like, this thing sucks. It's the knockoff version. That's what these movies are becoming. They're like, let's take this IP, Ghostbusters, let's change just a few parts of it, and then if people don't like it, well, the customers are the problem. And it's like, dude, like, I don't understand. Like, sometimes it's hard to believe they're sincere when they come out and say these things.
Well, that's the problem. They never give you the benefit of the doubt. They always assume that it's some type of veil for misogyny or bigotry, when really your complaints are completely justified.
And this does it like, and because like there are atrocities in this world where there is like people that are actually misogynistic, right? But when you say everything is, it devalues the power of that word. And so people, like, when there's actual problems going on, people can be like, oh, whatever, I've heard that a million times. So it's like they're doing a disservice. A huge disservice.
You made a point
to
earlier
people.
that I think they misunderstand is how important successful original IP is. It's just you're not allowed to do that anymore. Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I was going to bring up Buffy.
Buffy
It's
the
funny.
Vampire Slayer, was a film that was spun off to a television show, which then spun off a successful male franchise. Imagine that. Back in 1997, Sarah Michelle Gellar spun off David Boreanaz's career to create Angel. And how are you trying to tell me that we are somehow worse off now? No. The problem was, or the difference was, back then you had a very, very talented Joss Whedon who understood the characters that he was writing, gave you a unique style that has been copied to death by everyone in Hollywood since then. That's how influential it was. And he was known for creating tons of characters like that through many, many franchises. Like, one of the shows that I bring up all the time that only got 2 seasons was Dollhouse with Eliza Dushku,
love
which
that
was
show.
which was a really, really fun and unique sci-fi concept that didn't have to be. You didn't have to hear about how it had a woman in the lead role because the character was great. There was a lot of great emotional storytelling about her journey to figure out who she was and figure out what it was like, how she became this main active for this company. And then you get great actors like Tamo Pennicott and Harry Lennox in there, and it's like you surround a really good lead, regardless of gender, with really, really good actors around them. They had Amy Acker in it as well. Amy Acker is one of the most successful character actors that there is right now. And to say that there is some phantom bigotry that people are just looking for it, no. People can spot bullshit a mile away.
Well, and the other thing too is like, because in my head you're talking about that, I'm thinking of like Quentin Tarantino, like a lot of times who he wants for certain roles, like will leak, right? Like his potential cast list. And I almost feel like today they're not even doing that anymore. They're like, okay, we need someone that fits these looks, right? Not ability, but we need someone that's a certain race, a certain gender, right? So they're not looking for the best person. They're just filling, like checking a box, like you said. And it's a terrible way to try to find success that way.
We see it in all the movies that are coming out.
Chair Relax mentioned Dark Angel, which launched Jessica Alba's career in
Dark Angel.
Yeah, in the year 1999. There's just so many examples of it. I mentioned the show that I was rewatching Lost Girl recently, which was a sci-fi show. There's just too many examples. Like the problem is the examples you have to point out to people are original properties. They are not something that was taken from another creation, or if it was, it's obscure enough that most people haven't heard of it, so it doesn't receive the same backlash. I'm rewatching Haven right now with Emily Rose and Lucas Bryant, another show, science fiction led by a woman. Nobody cared. It was awesome.
If I was right now, if I was a big Hollywood investor or the head of a production company in Hollywood, if I see a director just taking something that already exists and trying to do a reboot, I'd blacklist them. Honestly, I'd write their name on a list and be like, okay, you're not serious about creating good art, so I don't want anything to do with you right now. Right? Like if you're just going to steal someone else's idea and try to piggyback off of it, nah, dude, no, that's not enough hustle for me.
Yeah. All right.
Screw it.
All right, let's do some super chats here, guys. We got a bunch to get into today, so let's go ahead and get started. Let me scroll all the way back up to the top. Actually, it's gonna be one of those days where like the YouTube is just gonna be slow and
it was giving us problems last week. I think they're doing some kind of back end updates, but of course they never tell you when they do that.
Okay. All right, here we go. Let's do a couple here. I gotta fix Raymond's shot here while we're. There we go.
I'm like on the ground.
Yes, he's like, what am I doing here? Let's move him over. There we go. Thank you. Perfect. All right. From the top, Shane H. Wilder says, Happy International Podcast Day, Brett, Kellen, Sarah, and Raymond. 700 episodes of PCC, and PCC recast the role of Mary with Kellen. Might have jumped the shark. Well, don't worry, guys. Mary will be. I mean, with that wig on earlier, that could have been true. He's mewing right now. Mary is not a mewer.
He's mewing as we speak.
Mary does not mew. But on Wednesday, Mary will be back. She's out creating content right now.
I thought she was at the International Bird Watching Festival.
Yeah, that's what she's doing right now. She's secretly she's like, Mary's like, look, don't tell anyone, but I'm an ornithologist by nature. That's what I'm into. All right, Potatoes for Seamus says, Brett, can I adopt Mocha since you don't want her? Yes. Yes, anytime you want. You just say the word. You can have her. Andrew Jacobs says, Hail Mary, fave Lana Dufresne songs, albums. Del Dufresne. Oh, because she got married. Lana Del Rey got married. To her alligator swamp tour boyfriend.
Good for her.
To her alligator swamp boyfriend.
You'll have to re-ask her that question when she gets back on Wednesday, man.
She should put an album out, like in contrast to Taylor Swift, where instead of complaining about a failed relationship, she talks about how awesome the swamp.
The guy was so great. It just didn't quite
relationship is.
Shane H. Wilder says, "I'm making steaks and green beans. Anyone want any? I'll take some steaks."
Yes, sir.
That sounds like exactly what I need right now.
All right. Serenco Productions says, yes, please, to Shane H. Wilder. Corey Anderson says, I identify as Riz-American. Where is Mary? Well, I have answered that question. But you should be mewing if you are, in fact, a Riz-American. Let's do one more here. Potatoes for Seamus says, if T Swift wanted to be a man, wed get Kellen a look. I read that as it was typed.
We'd get Kellen a look.
Get Kellen a look? I'm sorry, man. I don't know what that says.
Tried.
I did my best there.
This is why, spelling and...
Well, sometimes
It's
in Super
important.
Chats you only fit so many numbers in, or characters in.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
gotta go
Some of
from
these I
$2
really
to
can't
$5.
understand though.
Ben Wright. Well, here's the thing though. Like Mary's a very good reader. I'm not. So sometimes it's like I already have trouble reading the well-written articles. So reading the super chats where they have to abbreviate stuff, it's my own personal hell.
Yeah.
I mean, it's my own Vietnam.
And it doesn't help that, like, yeah, depending on who super chatted, they might be misspelling words. There
Yeah.
might be leaving words out. Like, it's not easy.
All right, Ben Ryder. Transformers 2007 has better CGI than current CGI. I love all the Michael Bay Transformers movies.
Do you think it's because there's a lot more
They were shooting
on location?
Yes, that's 100%.
And then adding
So they
CGI
used it
after?
less.
Yes. They weren't shooting in massive green screen studios. They were going out to physical locations and then actually putting the CGI over physical shots.
Is it way cheaper to just do it in front of a green screen too?
Yeah, I mean, and it's not just cost effective. It's that it cuts down on the amount of logistics that go into finding locations,
Right.
location scouting itself, all that stuff. That's just so much work. But I appreciate it. Again, guys, go watch The Creator it came out last year, which was made for $80 million and shot on like entry level studio cinema cameras, and it looks better than just about everything that came out last year.
Well, that's what makes me think Hollywood is one big money laundering scheme. Because I'm like, these movies have ginormous budgets, but if they're all CGI, where's all that money going?
Exactly. I was gonna say that makes it so much funnier when a movie flops nowadays, and like especially a Marvel movie, knowing that it was done in a warehouse with a bunch of like
bunch
green
of grown
screens.
dudes
I'm like,
in
you guys
spandex.
aren't paying for any travel. Like, oh.
Makes
All right.
sense. Yeah, makes sense.
Let's move on then, shall we? Let's talk about success showers. I think you guys will enjoy this. So, as you guys know, there's a war going on between the genders. It seems to be ever present on the internet. Everyone loves to talk about, what it is that women have it worse at, what it is that men have it worse at.
Our fault or their fault?
Is it that's a big part of it, right? Is it our fault? Is it their fault? Whose fault is it? Well, one thing that can't be denied is the fact that these days women are out earning men at their jobs, and they are finishing college at higher rates than men. So I was wondering, if everyone's complaining, what about the people that are actually, doing things right or succeeding in life? Well, the problem is women also want to complain about the fact that when they were having kids, they got baby showers. So now, without that, they are doing what are called success showers.
How dare you compare the two, Brett?
Yes.
How dare you?
Yeah.
Insensitive.
So a succession, it's just really funny because what it's about is like, does anybody actually need an excuse to party?
No, and we were talking about this before the show. I'm like, well, that's the difference between men and women. Men will do it, but they won't make a spectacle out of it.
That's the problem.
Like you got to look at when men are going out and having when they're having their buddies over for Sunday football and they're drinking and eating hot wings and pizza, right? That's a party, right? That's their party. But they don't make a big spectacle and send out Evites.
I think that this is a bit narcissistic. So I'm gonna
100%.
read this. So it says, I had a success
Shower.
Take a deep breath.
Reel it back. Reel it back, guys. I had a success shower. I'm so not saying that again. She said, a downtowner told the Post, it's a party similar to a bridal shower or a baby shower, but it celebrates the personal and professional successes that my friends and I have accomplished. The feet-focused things rooted in female empowerment see working women in the Big Apple and beyond being highlighted for life achievements outside of marriage and motherhood. What I thought about this is it's narcissistic for this reason. When you had a baby shower before, it was a community celebrating a new addition to the community. It wasn't that, congrats to you, you're having a child. It's you're contributing to growing our community and the next generation of citizens.
It's a rite of passage. And also the person is usually it's their sister or their friend that is throwing them the baby shower. I could be mistaken, but I don't think people are throwing
throw them
themselves.
yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
I mean, it's kind of nihilistic in the same way that I think of as divorce parties, which is people celebrating their divorce.
Gross.
Which there's such a thing as couples who get divorced and then celebrate the divorce party together. On one hand, you can look at it as look, they're good sports about it, and they're look, this didn't work out.
Sounds like a grift.
But, maybe the idea is look, I just want gifts and stuff like that. So it says, and while becoming a bride or a mom indeed are noteworthy wins, they certainly not the only gains a gal has to gush over. As fewer Gen Zs and millennials are prioritizing trying to tie the knot or welcoming kids, owing to the slim-laden dating pool and the high cost of child rearing, well, how much is that party running you? That's the real question. They're just using the most annoying language in this article.
And again, like, I don't think it's bad to celebrate your success, but like usually, if you work at a good company, you'll hear about when someone gets a promotion, the company will throw them a little party, like or do a happy hour.
Yep.
But it's not them organizing it.
Yep.
They're the guests. They shouldn't have to do any work. But
I want to know why. Maybe this is a gendered issue. I see somebody in the chat says this is a total Mary subject. No, I think it's interesting.
Guys.
I think it's interesting.
No, this is definitely. It's interesting to hear the men's perspective of this, and then I want to share my perspective.
Full. Go ahead.
Well, what I was going to say is it's definitely. I think this is just a very lost generation. I think the women are trying to figure out what to do, and they don't have direction. And a lot of women, if you're in a more liberal area, are told to go to college, don't get married, delay marriage, have kids, but then they don't know why they feel so unfulfilled. So they do things like throwing each other success parties.
And it's the same thing with materialism these days and consumerism. And I feel that way sometimes. It's like when I go out on the weekend, I have to go skate. Otherwise, if all I'm doing is going and running errands and getting stuff that I need to get, I just feel the consumerist nature of the culture like making me feel vile. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because it's like you lose yourself because you're doing what everybody needs to do that's necessary for survival. But what is Brett? Brett is someone who also skates.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that is a huge part of it. I think, and it's funny because I made a comment before the show started about like, hey, when are you going to propose? And then you made a comment that was like, well, why do girls want to get engaged so quickly when they're dating someone and yada yada? And I think when they don't, this is what happens.
Is part of that just like if you continuously set higher and higher standards, then it'll never be met, and then you just kind of fall into like this loop of consumerism, self-gratification, and you never actually learn about sacrificing to get to the next level with another person.
I think that could be a big part of it. I think the longer that you wait, the harder it is to make sacrifices for someone. So putting that off does make it more difficult to then do later on in life regardless, which could possibly be why so many marriages are failing these days. I mean that's a total speculation.
So you think that a lot of this is just that women feel a little bit unfulfilled and empty because the bill of goods they've been sold as far as having a career and prioritizing yourself isn't as rewarding as they thought it would be, so they have to fill it with distractions.
Yes.
That's deep.
That was a great way to put it.
Yeah.
It's like, it's the economy, stupid, right? Like, you tell women...
What? They're like, these are the ladies that are out earning men now, they're saying. That's what they're talking about.
You tell women to be a girl boss, and even if they're very successful, you know how expensive it is to own a home, and then...
Actually, that was another thing I saw recently. So single women now outpace men in home ownership. So single men own less homes than single women.
So, and that's the thing though, like, so if they've accomplished one thing, it's like you can't, it's really, I know a lot of people like, you could do both things. You could have a family and then have a career. I'm like, not in this economy, dude. It's the American dream, but I think it's at this point it's not practical anymore. It's not realistic.
Yeah.
And if a woman, I think you should celebrate and acknowledge success, but I don't think you should be throwing yourself the party here.
No. That's the weirdest part, right? Is like I don't.
It's okay to celebrate.
I
You're
don't
doing
like
what you were
celebrating my
supposed to do
birthday.
anyway.
I don't even like celebrate.
Yeah, I
There's
don't
a
even
reason.
want to have a wedding. Like I don't like attention.
I like celebration. Like they get the job, they get promoted, they get hired. Let's have a party. But I've been at the job for 1 year. Okay, party. Oh, I made it for 2 years. I get another party. Like cool. Like it's not any accomplishments. Getting the job.
Yeah, but
cool.
you're not throwing it for yourself either.
Yeah,
that's the difference.
True.
Hey guys,
Actually,
my 1 year
never mind. I've
anniversary.
completely changed my mind on all of this because we do the celebration every time we hit a new 100 episodes.
Oh,
100
shoot.
episodes.
Oh,
So look, but the point of that is like
a milestone.
It actually makes the job more work,
Right.
because the show's longer and it's actually more work.
Yeah,
but that's the point.
It is a celebration you're sharing. I see what you're saying, but it is a celebration with the viewers, right? Because it's a special episode. You go long. You're giving them something
fun.
more. So it's not quite just like, look how great we are, 700 episodes. It's not quite the same.
Yeah.
And this is also like, what, is there another podcast going to throw a party for us? Like, it doesn't quite equate.
It's kind of like a celebration of the fans.
I think that's actually, like the idea of a business doing it is different than an individual. I don't even like celebrating my birthday.
Yeah.
And I literally have the very, very pessimistic attitude. I'm just like, well, tomorrow's not my birthday. So, I don't want to be all happy today and then go back to normal tomorrow. I'm better to be just medium the whole time rather than high up on being celebrated today and then back down tomorrow. Just stay baseline the whole time.
We have a $20 super chat from Nate. It says, and you just landed on Harrison Bucker's point. Good job, team. I love PCC. Women feel empty because of the bill of goods they were sold as a lie. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I think there's too much like overgeneralization when it comes to like culture war topics,
Yes.
right? Women can, they can have a career and they can also start a family. But like what I was saying earlier is it's, how expensive that is? You have to have a very, very lucrative job, and your husband also has a job that allows you to do those things. Like, that's privilege right there, where you guys can like maybe afford a babysitter, or if you're not affording a babysitter, you can afford for someone to stay at home then, right? Like, that is a luxury now.
Yeah.
And it used to not be that way. It shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
But it is what's happening now.
Yeah, it's insane that even with 2 salaries, people can't have as many kids as people once had on a 1 salary income home. And I'm not saying anything is like...
The cost of childcare now makes instead of getting the wife working, just staying home with the kids saves you so much because childcare is so expensive.
When I was looking
That's a
over
good
the
point, yeah.
health insurance options, one of them had an example, and it's like, Lucy is pregnant. Lucy is going to the hospital to deliver her baby, and they gave a breakdown of like all the costs and how much savings you would get with this particular health insurance plan. But I'm like that's just it right there. It's like it's scary. It's like you're a young person entering the workforce, and you're like, oh my god, $15,000 just to have a kid, and then there's more expenses after that.
Yeah.
You have less
Clothes,
time,
shoes, food.
right?
Also, I mean, this type of stuff is just, it's gendered in nature because men don't value this type of support in the same way. So it says a recent Pew Research study found that women earn as much or more than their male counterparts in 22 major metropolitan cities across the country, including New York, Washington, D.C., and Los Angeles. Still, their workplace triumphs rarely warrant any festive fanfare. Men don't care about festive fanfare. What they would want is to make more money by doing their job well. Right. They see the job as a means to an end, whereas women might put more of their identity onto that career because they've been told to do that. Men do it by matter of course. Women are doing it because they're being told to. Men have to. Women are being told almost abnormally to go and do this.
Nate with another $20 super chat says, listen to all these incredible takes. Keep going, guys. LOL. Keep going.
That was like the
Sounds
most.
a little,
I couldn't tell how sarcastic that was, but my meter just went off. I think that there was some.
I think
heavy
he's
sarcasm
poking
in there.
fun, not necessarily at us, but the idea that Harrison Butker's comments about women and mothers was so controversial. I think he's kind of pointing out that it's not controversial.
It was very uncontroversial.
I don't know what the statement was.
He's saying that women, like, he was giving a speech to a Catholic university, and he was basically saying women should prioritize being homemakers and mothers and raising the next generation because there's so much beauty in that. I'm summarizing. And he got absolutely trashed online.
But did he say prioritize?
Huh?
I didn't think he said prioritize. Just that was a good
I'm
thing.
not sure what. Yeah,
He said
but that's
it should
what
be
the,
celebrated that they
that's what
become
the speech
moms.
was about. So you can call it a priority.
Okay.
So here's a little bit more. This woman says, "Why do we only consider having a baby or getting married as significant enough reasons to celebrate a woman when there's so much more that makes up a woman's identity?" I'm sorry, but society today loves to celebrate women at every turn.
Do something worth celebrating.
That is either a lie
You're
or you see it so much that you're just blind to it, right?
It is like, listen, we're men and women are very different. They like different things. They react differently to things. And right now with the social media and the digital world, we're all being put in the same like kind of public square. And we're all expected to be acting the same. And it's like, this is why we see so many bumps in the road.
Also, the celebration of the baby should be about the
that's
the baby.
the baby,
And
Thank you.
And
You
the
just brought up
celebration
a
about the
point.
wedding should be about the
Like
love
wedding.
in the couple. Not
Right.
like it's actually telling that they made both the baby shower and the wedding, both of which include other people, about them.
Nate did say he was being sincere, by the way.
Yeah.
But no, that's a point. I'm glad you made that because I wanted to say that earlier. Is, when you're throwing a baby shower, it's not. Yes, it's about you, but it's also about this child that you will give birth to, right? You're celebrating a new life. Where a job is, it's all about you.
Yeah.
You know?
Right, and getting literal supplies to care for the baby.
diapers
Right.
galore.
It's
Dudes
not for
do
gifts
it for
for
diapers.
you. Yeah, exactly.
I know. So, like, I think my past birthday, you know, like, we don't really celebrate birthdays, my family, because I'm at that age. But
Thank you guys.
number 5.
Technically, that's
I'll put a
6.
pin out there.
Oh, the wig is
Cats, eat the cat.
hair flip.
Eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. Eat the cat, eat
Try this one on right now.
the dogs, they're eating the cats. Eat the cat.
Did you make that one or Carter?
This is really nice.
No, that's
pardon?
literally that's
I
just
thought
a
you were talking about
TikTok.
the
Like that is the game. Somebody made that
Nice
like a viral trend, and I just cut it up and put it in there.
Love it.
I added the explosions at the
I
end.
completely lost my train of
Yeah.
thought.
That's okay. Let's go to some super chats, guys. Well, he's putting the wig on there. All right. Let's go back up to where we were here. Brewmaster Monk says,
Cut my hair today.
perfect.
It gets hot, dude.
Now put the hat on over it. Will the hat fit over it?
It's a
Wow.
snapback.
Oh yeah.
That actually
You look
fits
like you're about to
quite
go
well.
noodling.
I don't know what that means.
Catfishing? Or you go, not catfishing.
He's gonna
like
go
in a
hang
business
out
sense.
with Lana Del Rey's husband.
Yeah. Noodling is you go into the. You know,
Oh, that's the Hannah.
yeah.
chick.
The
Yeah.
Hannah girl
Yeah.
from the
Yeah, so
country.
you stick your arm into a catfish hole and it bites you, and that's how you fish them out.
Ah,
yeah,
gotcha,
it bites
gotcha.
your arm and then you pull it out.
Perfect.
Let's do it.
That's
We're
what
going
I'm talking
catfishing.
about here.
I love catfishing.
All right, here we go. Here's some cash for Manic Hair Monday. Did you guys watch the Rescue the Republic event in DC yesterday? It was pretty good. Is that the one Tim was at?
Yes.
I thought, no, that was Rage Against the War Machine,
Oh.
which was on Saturday, I believe. Unless it got rained out or something. But no, Saturday was sunny. It was nice.
He said he was there yesterday.
Nobody in their right
So
mind is
yeah,
okay.
ever going to invite
Yesterday.
me to some political event.
And no one knew. I had no idea until Friday that was even happening.
And, you know, I
Me
feel
neither.
bad
Me
sometimes
too.
about missing out on these events. But, like, when you, like, this job, when you're surrounded by it Monday through Friday, you know, like, sometimes the weekend is such a welcome relief where it's not, you know, it's just,
For sure.
you're putting pause
Yeah.
on all the
Yeah, yeah.
craziness. You
That's
know?
exactly how I
Cleanse the
view
palate.
the weekend.
Yeah.
I go skate and then we go and do literally anything but think about
Right.
work. I mean, that's not even true because I'm working most of the weekend anyways. Like,
Right, you end up
it was
doing
like
it no
3 in the
matter what.
morning yesterday and I was like sending myself notes for the show today. I'm like,
Yeah, and like, you know, I sent Brett a couple things ahead of this episode. So, like, even when you're not working, you're still kind of in that mindset,
Yeah.
at least a little part.
Yeah.
You know?
all right. So Red Snow says the AI doesn't seem to do good at getting hair right. What are you talking about? That hair is perfect.
The AI.
Yeah, Raymond is actually not here.
Oh, yeah.
No, he's
we had a tech upgrade here at
You can't
PCC.
see me.
Sarenko Productions says pretty privilege is real. That is all.
Yeah,
Yes,
that is
it is real.
110% true.
So work out and take care of yourself. Eat well.
That's not even controversial.
face.
Look at the results of the
Moisturize.
presidential elections after the TV was invented.
yep.
The pretty person wins.
It's always been a thing.
I mean, yeah, Trump over Hillary, definitely he's prettier than that. Yeah.
Shane H. Wilder says Mocha is a rock star, literally. No.
What?
I saw the video. No.
Someone needs to do like a cartoon of like you like fighting Mocha.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Street Fighter style.
Like when Ken used to make the ones with the chickens fighting.
Like an anime, like,
Nice.
oh.
Corey Anderson says,
That'd be good.
Brett, what is Olivia Clare's pet name for you?
Ooh.
Wouldn't you like to know?
Choka. Choka and Mocha.
No.
No, Loca.
No.
Crazy.
The DJ Foy says, don't forget the studio didn't include the physical disc of the 2016 movie in the box set collection, only as a digital. Yeah, so what happened was when they made like a box set of all the Ghostbusters movies, it included the originals and then the new ones.
But not the girl
But
one.
not the girl
The woman one.
And then they got backlash for it, so they made like they added a digital code that you could
that's-
use in it, which is just it's somehow even more of a slap in the face.
yeah, and the fact that people were cool with that, they're
You're
like,
not
all right.
you're not worthy of a physical copy. being
I've
printed.
learned people, the loudest complainers are always the people that are the hardest to please.
Yes.
So it's almost not worth
And
it sometimes.
Oftentimes, who know the least about what's going on.
Corey Anderson says only losers would have a success party. Straight window.
Well, here's
What?
the
Window liquor.
I think the common kind of agreement we came to about that subject was like if someone else is celebrating you, that's okay. But yeah, like you said, the narcissistic kind of like feeling you get for like
Women
throwing a
just-
party for yourself.
Women just
it's
want
a
to
little
be
bit
like,
weird.
oh man,
Yeah,
it's
look at
time to
me.
celebrate me a little bit. I tell this story quite often about this song. that I was listening to one day during the show, and Mary just listened to me rant about this woman talking about loving herself. It's from this artist named Janine, and it's literally a song about loving herself. And I was like, this is the most abhorrent thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Like in words that I can't actually use on this show. Well, I'm not saying you shouldn't be confident. I'm saying that the grift we've been sold, the lie of self-love, is so much more complicated than how it's sold to you. Mm-hmm. And I do believe that you have to find a line somewhere between confidence and humility.
Right.
And we have not raised the next generation to have any humility at all.
Well, I think social media really exposed that if you give people an inch, they'll take a mile. Yeah. Because, like, listen, body, people are, what do they call it? When
body dysmorphia?
That's a real thing. People are body dysmorphic. Yep. But now you're not allowed to criticize anything. So even if someone's like dangerously overweight to where it's impacting their health, you can't say anything because of body positivity. And it's like they just went so far in the other direction where like reality and the truth lies somewhere in between.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's hold off on the rest. We got some more to get into here today. Let's talk about today's Darwin Award.
Ooh.
Here's the problem, guys. There is a hurricane going on. You've seen that?
It's bad.
Yeah, so there is a hurricane going on, Hurricane Helene. The problem is TikTok had to issue a warning telling people to be careful making content because it's really, really dangerous, because anything for clout.
They were right to do it. They were right to do it, and I'll explain why.
We're going to watch this one video first so that you can see an example of what somebody is. I would like to know how you guys feel about it. Is this, making the best of a bad situation, or is it just stupidity? You guys can be the judge of that, but here is one video in particular. Let me see if it'll let me go full screen for it. Yep, she is doing the worm in the middle of a hurricane inside her house.
What's it say? Step up 2?
Yep.
Okay. I remember that scene.
What's the whole caption?
It says, POV, Hurricane Helene going crazy, but this step up 2 dance goes harder. Here's the original piece for it. And this is kind of the way things are now. There's this other video I'll show you right here. Kick streamer nearly dies after going live from a tent on a beach during hurricane.
Oh my god.
Idiotic, yo.
Nice run, GG, son. This is my last stream. I'll kick last stream. I'm going out with a bang.
At least he's,
Look, do you want to think about how depressing the world is now? Look at the responses.
What are they saying?
They're all just laughing memes.
Yeah.
You leveled up.
Death incoming. What's that?
Wow.
He responded to this tweet posting about it. He says, I'm never doing that shit again. Learn your lesson the hard way. Thoughts on people just going out and...
I don't get too upset with the people just laughing when someone's in danger, because, listen, we're in a digital world, and we've trained, especially the young generation, we've trained them that if it's on the internet, it's content, and we should celebrate that. I mean, look at the war footage that goes viral on Twitter every day. It used to be shocking that it would make people throw up during the Vietnam War, right? They'd broadcast it on the news, and people would be sick to their stomachs. Now people are like, oh, what's the next one? What's the next? Oh, that's not that crazy. But I think TikTok was right to issue a warning. And the reason is with storms like this and wild weather, it's unpredictable. We do our best as a species to understand meteorology, but it's unpredictable. And as you see people in Nashville, Tennessee, an area which usually wouldn't have impacts like they're having now, and a dam failed, they got like a historic amount of rain. There's like, over 100 people have died from the storm so far.
At least thousands missing still.
And you can't, you need to take precautions because there is no warning. This this stuff will hit you so fast where there is no way out anymore. Like you saw this guy that you just pulled up the video. It was windy, it was crazy, but then all of a sudden the water started coming, and it's like, okay, now you're in just like that. You're in a life-threatening situation. Yeah. And I think that's why TikTok, listen, people are walking in hurricane waters. You're not supposed to do that. If there's a power line that fell, You're dead. Electrocuted.
That
right?
lady,
alligators.
I agree with that lady right there. She had all of her power turned on, that water coming in there, and if it got into any of her electrical outlets, if it started, could have burned her down. Well, there's water to stop it, but it could have been very
We
bad
need to
for her
stop
house.
focusing as a society. We focus on microaggressions when we're not even teaching basic storm survival 101. Like someone was running a generator inside their house. I saw a video.
Oh yeah, with the exhaust inside.
Did you see the? Did you
They were
see
so
the,
close. They had the generator. They just couldn't figure out.
Did you see the Tesla that started on fire from the saltwater?
I'm
No.
sure it did. I'm sure a lot of Teslas are totaled.
So it says TikTok was forced to issue safety warnings to content-obsessed users chasing a viral moment. That's the issue here.
Chasing a
Nobody's
viral moment.
like they're not doing it to make the best of a bad situation. It's not it's as bad as TikTok nurses who are using COVID as a reason to try and go viral online. It's not TikTok nurses claiming that they're doing it to deal with the stress of their situation. Bullshit. That's not what we're in. That's not the world we live in anymore. We're living in a desensitized world that's just desperate with going viral.
And
so here's the thing. I've actually found there's like a realm of this within the world of like action sports too. So when you do something like I do, like with skating, right? Skateboarding, bike riding, blading, any of that stuff, you take calculated risks that push up to the edge of your skill level, at least when you're younger, right? Like
Right.
you take calculated risks partly for the accomplishment of knowing that you were able to push the boundaries of what you're capable of, partly because it's cool to get it on camera and make sections out of it. Here's the thing. I found that the internet has a natural stopgap as to where they find what they find to be clout chasing. So, have you ever seen the videos of dudes who like run on skyscrapers? They run on the beams on
Yes.
skyscrapers.
Crazy.
It's not positive comments on those. It's like, bro,
Oh
you
my
have a
God.
mom who loves you. Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
Right? Like, whether that's right or wrong, like, I don't know that dude's story. I don't know how long he's been doing that, whether that's actually like the most that, that's where he's found himself. If he's going to feel like to feel alive, he's got to do shit like that. But people don't look at that online and think, oh, holy shit, that's cool. They think, why are you taking this needless risk?
Look at free solo climbers. They know how crazy they
Yeah.
are. And anyone that wants to get into it, they're like, I get it's popular and people like find it entertaining, but you need to know what you're getting into. Like the death rate, like you're almost certain to fall, right? When you do this and there's no safety net. There's no safety net. So when you ultimately fall, that's it.
Yeah.
And I think
Done.
that's one of those.
Literally not if, it's when.
That's one of those sports and hobbies that they do a really good job of like preaching that. Like guys, like if you want to go climbing, climb. Like get a what do they call it?
Harness, rope?
A belay, is that what it's called?
Oh.
I don't remember. Yeah, but you know what I mean. Yeah,
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
rope, have a
Yeah.
safety line, have a safety net. They have indoor rock climbing gyms with mats on the floor, so if you fall, right? But this is
That's not
not
going to get
something
you.
most people should
You're not
do.
going to go viral. You're not going to go viral doing that. You'd have to make videos like my rock climbing journey and put a lot of work into it.
Right.
That's not the same as being like, there's a hurricane outside. Let me go risk it all to get a couple thousand likes on TikTok.
Dude, there was a storm chaser I was watching. These are professionals that go into the hurricanes and risk their lives to bring coverage of the devastation and just show people how crazy it is. Because you hear about crazy hurricanes, but until recently with social media and video and the internet, like we didn't really understand what it was like to get hit by these crazy storms, whether it's a tornado or hurricane or a flash flood, right? So these storm chasers go out, and just with Hurricane Helene, they had like a road sign or some kind of big piece of debris hit him,
Oh, Jesus.
messed up his back. He's okay. I forget who it was. And then also hit the back of the car and the windshield was shattered.
Yeah.
And these are professionals that know to like not put themselves in harm's way to the best of their ability. And they still get hit. And it's like, even that, Brett, like they're putting the content and their job over their safety. And it should be admired, but it's not for the average Joe.
No.
It's not.
Right. Like that reporter that went viral for rescuing a woman from
Yeah.
her car.
Yeah.
Like there are a
Super
lot of people
dangerous.
that need to be rescued. And if you're going to go out there and risk your life like that, okay, fine. Go and do something productive with it. Not almost kill yourself so that 3,000 people will like your video.
People
Just
would
some advice.
always make the jokes that like sports, like what I've always done. It's like kids have lost, like there's no exploration anymore, so they have to seek adventure and risk wherever they can find it. What I found enjoyable about what we did was that it was partially the risk of what you were choosing to do, but also the creativity of it, meaning that there's a whole lot of nuance and a whole lot of minutia to filming a skate section and putting it together, which would be impossible to explain, right? It wouldn't make any sense. People who understand it, but it's like choosing the right amount of switch tricks, the right amount of natural tricks, the right amount of rails, the right amount of ledges. Like there's nuance there that's only recognizable to the people within your sport, but that's not really what sells anymore. Now what sells is to go out and do something really, really stupid looking and hope that it goes viral. And people from times before will probably criticize it as less pure. Is it? That's not for me to say, but it is fascinating how even something as dangerous as a hurricane isn't enough to scare people off, whatever it takes for clout.
You know, you introduced this segment as the Darwin Awards. Someone else in chat said natural selection, LOL, and that's true. But I think we can't overlook the fact that these kids are not either their schools and teachers are failing them, or we're as a society we're failing them. Because like, I remember like Storm Safety 101 was taught in school. Like what happens when there's a tornado, right? You see those pictures from the 50s where they were teaching the kids to get under the desk in case of a nuclear attack, right? We're not doing any of that in this coddled world anymore.
Actually, it'd be really funny if they just started one day, some school teacher who with a really morbid sense of humor just started re-implementing like
nuclear alarm.
Nuclear, like without like no announcement otherwise, like yeah.
That's funny, but honestly, if I don't have any children, but if I did and their teacher wanted to do drills like that, I'd say why
Sure,
not?
do
It's
it
not
up.
hurting anyone. And it's a good skill. So when you do, if God forbid,
I'm gonna do the Indiana
there's a missile
Jones
strike,
version where you get in the fridge. That's what I'm gonna do. Or you know what? We're gonna be like, turn the bathtub over to prevent yourself from dying.
Yeah,
from
no, you're
nuclear
supposed to
blast.
get you get into the bathtub, put a mattress over you. I think for a tornado. I mean, get to the lowest part of your house.
Yeah.
It just the thing is, it's like these storms are not to be messed with, and we document them. We monetized it at this point, so it's a spectacle. But you guys really people really need to take it seriously with just how much Mother Nature doesn't play around, and they're gonna go right through you. They will mess your day up.
There was the guy paddling the kayak in his home. See that?
That's okay. I don't mind that as much. Like, hey, if you're stuck at your house and it's flooded, you might as well bring the kayak out. But
he's done in the
again, be
basement, too.
careful. Those are flood waters, man.
Yeah.
But he's in a kayak, so.
Plus, that was like security footage. It wasn't like his phone. Like, you know what we should start making?
What?
We should start advertising like weatherproof, like our own TikTok tripods that are made to stand up in hurricane winds.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You could probably
Heavy duty tripods already exist. We need to make like a consumer friendly version that you don't have to get at B&H Photo.
Yeah.
Like no sandbags needed because all the sandbags have to go to prevent the flooding. So, you know.
It can screw into the
Yeah,
cement.
yeah.
It automatically
Well,
screws
just like
down
in
into
Twister.
That's what I was
Yeah.
gonna say. Yeah.
Just like in Twisters. Hey, that was and the funny thing is that was what it's funny that character resonates with everyone in Twisters because he is smart, but he has a sense of adventure and risk taking that's commensurate with his skills.
A little bit of MacGyver.
Yeah.
Too there, like right? Because what was he using? I forget what that tool is called.
It looked like an auger.
He had an
Yeah, it's
auger
an
that
auger.
drilled into the
Yeah.
ground and
Right.
clamped.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So he repurposed it to fit his needs. Like that's cool. That's fun.
All right, let's go. Let's finish up these super chats here, guys. We got a bunch to get through here still, and then we will just hang out until we're done today.
Sweet.
Oh no, I think we're right by the end there. So that's even like so we're just gonna hang out. So it says Shane H. Wild says, "I'm sorry, Kellen, you got memes."
I know.
CX later.
I saw that chat. I'm gonna
yeah.
check out the video once we wrap here.
Yeah. Well, which one was it? Which video?
He memed us again.
Oh, you'll have to. Shane will have to send it to us
hey,
right now.
yeah, if you send it right now, we'll pull it up.
Yeah, send it right now. We'll watch it. Chat, it's really funny because I was wondering what people in the chat were gonna think of like Zachary Levi wanting endorsing Trump because we do dunk on celebrities endorsing politicians all the time, which is like a huge part of the show. Which is like you should not be taking your like just because just because somebody agrees with you now doesn't mean you should ever get your political advice from a politician or from an actor.
Again, I didn't like express myself clearly or as eloquently as I would have liked, but this is the social credit score. The reason that these celebrities are expected to come out and endorse politicians is because of their mass following, and that's not a good indicator that anyone knows what they're talking about.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure. That needs to be emphasized more.
Like,
Just because you can sing, you can sing songs doesn't make you good.
We have no role
candidate for
models
political-
left, man.
Yeah.
You don't think so? No role models? Well, I mean, my point
Not
is
like
always
local heroes.
your role models shouldn't be somebody you find online anyways.
Well, that's
Yeah,
what it is. That's
that's
what I
your
mean.
role models should be somebody in your actual life.
Yeah.
That's
Unless
what I
it's
mean.
me.
Yes,
It's
Raymond can be your role
Unless it's
model.
Raymond.
It's that saying. We're more connected than ever, but we feel more alone than ever, more isolated than ever.
Amen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're looking for role models, it should be somebody in your actual life where you have like a firsthand account of what they're like beyond just what they're like on social media. Certainly, we're all very, even though I don't think that most people these days put on a persona, you change a lot of the discussion around you if you're online just by what you choose to share. Right? The only people getting close to an uncurated look at your life are the people that are in your sphere every day. Not even necessarily just your coworkers, but like the people you come into contact with every day. They might know the closest thing to the real you as is possible. Right?
I agree with that.
Potatoes for Seamus says, I'm ready to adopt Mocha, Brett. Just hashtag justice for Mocha. Well, just because you're a glutton for punishment and you want to live a life with no sleep or rest because the cat will go constantly and wake you up, doesn't mean that, that's the life you should want. I think you're making a mistake, my friend.
Brett, did
Now
you ever,
I see where the hate comes from.
You know how they say like pets can
No, I hated Mocha even before that.
You know how they say pets can like detect evil? They've got like a sixth sense. Maybe you're just evil, dude.
No, 'cause she doesn't do it to me. She does it at certain times of day.
Interesting.
No.
So she's just crazy.
Yes, she's just
Yeah.
nuts.
Mocha just is as Mocha does. It sounds like.
Shane H. Wilder says, 1, the steak came out melt in your mouth perfect, and B, I hate it when people do that. He uses a number and in a letter to abbreviate. And B, I tagged all of you in the video, Brett. Well, I can pull that up. Hold on, I'll pull that up.
That's like a really dyslexic way to list things.
Something I would do.
And then B.
First of all, the number B.
Number B.
The letter 1 and the number B.
Oh, man.
Okay. It says, tomorrow is October, so Kellen is starting his spooky era. First of all, that's another thing. I'm putting a moratorium on things being called eras. No more eras.
Oh, this is
Why?
Brett's anti-era era. He's done. I broke him. Yes.
That's just sad. Okay.
No, there you go.
That's amazing. We need some Illuminati symbols in the background there as well. That was amazing.
Hide your kids, hide your wife from that.
Okay. Pete Donovan says, hold on, let me link that one there. Missed the live show on Friday, but happy belated 700. Thank you for introducing us to the genius of Cities by Diana. The Lockheed Raytheon Pride Month video is hilarious. It really is their
I haven't
best.
seen it.
I'll have to, I wonder if I could find that one while we're live. But the fact that she got demonetized is just, that breaks my heart. Because she puts like, if you watch her videos, she puts like a lot of work into.
Do we know why she got demonetized?
I don't know. That'd be a good question.
When you let the AI overlords decide what's acceptable and what's not, this is what happens.
I'm gonna put her post up here. We're trying.
She
to...
displeased the AI gods.
Yeah, and it's gonna be real hard for the AI to understand sarcasm or nuance.
Yeah, they're not gonna. It's not gonna happen.
Eventually, it will.
You think?
Eventually.
It'll catch tones of voices and stuff.
Oh, 100%. I mean, dude, look at where the AI music started a year ago and look at it now. It's
Yeah, and that animation, everything, the pictures.
all of it.
Over
Dude.
1 year.
It's
yeah,
going to be
huge.
scary. But I do
Huge.
think it's not going to be this big replacement like everyone thinks it is. I think people are going to really seek out human-made content when this becomes like pretty much ubiquitous, like AI.
I hope so. I
think
hope this
so.
is the thing that pushes people over the edge and finally makes them just sick of vapid AI-created movies and technology,
Well, have
and they seek out human connection and real authenticity.
I'm gonna play the Raytheon one for everybody
Okay.
since it is possibly my favorite that she ever made. It's,
we have a 20 before
oh,
you do
go
that.
for it.
Manic Mustache says, late as usual, but apropos, taking a bathing. What?
You're bathing?
God, taking a bathing.
See,
Mother
man, it's
said
not
she
just me.
celebrates her achievements through the kids she's crapped out. Like the day her first child got married or the birth of her first grandbaby. Stay toxic, my friends.
I can't read, so
that's
I appreciate
tough, man.
when
I thank
appreciate
you,
when
though.
somebody else can't read.
It sounds like
either.
you're celebrating when the mom had the baby, or
Do you think people do that on
marriage.
purpose just to mess with you?
I mean, they
Misspell
don't
stuff.
need to. They can spell stuff perfectly accurately and I'd still screw it up. So there's no reason to type poorly just for me to screw it up. I'll screw it up either way. Here we go, guys.
All right, Brad.
That's bullying. He wears glasses.
It's Pride Month.
Pride Month, cucks. Do you know what that means? Here at Lockheed Raytheon, we are locked and loaded to serve cunt in every color of the rainbow. Whether it's our classic Leather Daddy surface-to-air missile systems, lipstick lesbian F-69 fighter jets, or our new Stonewall drones, operated entirely by a staff of bisexual non-binary pilots from our secret underground bunker in the Castro district of San Francisco, the good gays over at Lockheed Raytheon have you covered from head to toe with the fiercest arms in all of NATO. Our clients will rest assured knowing that their homes were destroyed by ethically sourced, non-GMO munitions, each with their own uniquely assigned set of neo-pronouns. But before we can bring rainbow freedom to underserved communities far away, it all starts with a dream. This is Sock. They're our Portland-based Vice President of Research and Development.
Thank you, Jojo. At Lockheed Raytheon every June, we are proud to show off what real American progress looks like. That's why I'm excited to announce our new laser-guided tactical glitter bombs. Before hitting their target, they play an eclectic selection of queer hits like Born This Way by Lady Gaga and Girls Like Girls by Haley Kiyoko, unleashing a storm of rainbow fury on any unsuspecting terrorist. At Lockheed Raytheon, our products put the sleigh in Slay Queen, but you have to act fast because these deals are only available during the month of June. Don't miss out.
Amazing.
I dug it.
There's a lot of work goes into making that. There's a lot of motion graphics in that. Nice. There's another 20 there.
Yeah,
Again,
potatoes.
We need CDs by Diana to get her account.
Potatoes
back.
for Seamus says, I used to say Brett and Kellen were my role models. Now it's just Raymond G. Stanley Jr. He's the only one who cares now. Oh, and
What about
sometimes
Seamus?
Shane H. Wilder.
Okay.
Skibbity Riz, that Ohio Brett. LOL. People's Joker. Let's go.
No, we've all seen it. Nobody's watching that today. We're gonna watch Typical Day of Fuel Maxing. This is a new one. I haven't seen this one.
Is my fossil fuel usage in a typical day. First, I roll down all 4 windows for decreased aerodynamics. This helps reduce my fuel economy by at least 20%. And on top of that, I make sure to put the AC on full blast
Look, it's
to make
me.
my
I
engine
had a
work a
tweet about this
little
the other
harder
day.
for me. This should lower my MPG by another 25% or so, ensuring multiple extra trips to the gas station.
Sweet.
No need to worry about that silly little check engine light. Whatever the problem is, I'm sure it's helping me use even more fuel. Whenever Google Maps offers you 2 different routes to the same place, always take the longer route.
Yes!
Increasing vehicle miles driven is a key part of fossil fuel maxing. For food, stay away from sit-down restaurants if possible. And of course, never eat at home. Drive-through only.
Yeah, can I get the Impossible Whopper with only cheese?
Impossible Whopper with only cheese? The meal or just a Whopper itself?
Let's do the meal.
Meal, what size?
Medium.
What kind of drink?
Coke.
Yeah, anything else?
That'll be it.
Also, we have sauce or nothing?
Thank you.
And be sure to eat in the parking lot, leaving the engine idling the whole time. Ignore those stupid Tesla chargers, or better yet, park in one of them if you can. When they're available, take the surface streets. This may seem counterintuitive to the fast, luxurious freeways, but the stop-and-go traffic puts more strain on your engine, further increasing your gasoline usage. And pick the route with the most stoplights. Now, I don't have a 9-to-5 job anymore. I work from home. But that doesn't stop me from participating in rush hour. Sure, I have nowhere in particular to go, but the 5 o'clock rush is a communal experience, and it feels right to do my part to fossil fuel max and help create a warmer future for all the children of the world.
The idea that people are making rush hour worse just because they want to sit in traffic is infuriating. That's pretty good.
She's
pretty great.
She's a menace.
She's an absolute menace.
Fuel maxing. I had a tweet about that maybe 3 weeks ago, and I said sometimes I like to treat myself, and I drive with the windows down and the AC on because that will.
In this economy?
Yeah, I know. Well, that's why I said I'm treating myself. It's my what do they call those parties? My success party.
Success
That's my
shower.
success shower.
Yeah, there you go.
That's awful.
Say that 3 times fast.
Okay, where did we leave off here? We were at Pete Donovan. Now we're at DCNC says, after that meow, I'm with Brett on Mocha now.
Building a squad.
Let's go.
You should do an election, you versus Mocha.
No. 3 a.m. votes are going to come in. But to stuff that ballot box for sure. All right, Shane H. Wilder says, I did the one and B just to F with you. Again, I suck at reading. I did the one and B just to F with you. Oh, from the other tweet. Yeah, the one and then the B. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Corey Anderson says, I am on OC's side of the Mocha debate. Wrong. Well, you're on the wrong side, but that's okay. That's fine.
Quite frankly.
Potatoes. Oh, no, we read potatoes for Seamus' one. DCNC says, Corey, come on. You hear that meow? Exactly. Like, do you listen? Do you listen? Do you find a musician whose voice you hate and then listen to it willingly? That's awful.
Isn't that how Crazy Frog got popular?
I don't know who that is.
You know, the Axel F.
Nope.
Really?
Yeah.
You've probably heard it before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dun, 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 dun.
That sounds okay. That little beat is like upbeat.
Crazy Frog. Anyway.
Yeah, but nobody knows the words to it. They
Crazy
just know
Frog.
the part you just did.
Yeah, that's true.
Omega Red fan says lipstick fire jets PCC for life. Look, maybe I need to see if Cities Diana will get her.
What is up
monetization
with
back.
all these politicians and signing bombs?
Yeah,
Seen
that's
that?
freaking weird.
That is so weird.
I mean, it's evil, is what it is.
Not to mention that bombs can explode. So what's your signature worth anyway?
I mean, it's literally the meme that they used to make. It says like Republican, like
Right.
we need help. Republicans no, Democrats no. Hashtag BLM. Hashtag like the fist going up. And there were memes made in 2020 with like BLM written on bombs, and they're just turning it into its own self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
Is that the sports song?
Yes.
I'm sure they use that at sport events. Yeah.
The Manic Mustache said, "Super Chat f's it up sometimes with autocorrect."
Yeah. Yeah.
How is that possible? Like, don't you have control over what you type?
No,
Can't you go
it's-
back and fix it?
It's the Google's like weird platform for when you super chat. Like that text box is like I've tried super
I mean,
chatting
I
and
send
it's really
super-
hard to correct. Like I'll catch myself and
I
it's really
send
hard to go
super
back
chats
and
to people.
fix it. It's I don't know. UI problems, I guess.
I've never had that happen when I've sent super chats.
Well, I
to
guess
other
you're just
shows.
an expert.
Ditto, and I've sent millions and hundreds.
I mean, maybe I'll just start misspelling stuff on purpose.
Ooh. You don't get the little red squiggly line underneath it?
No, I do, but I'm just saying like the
To go
UI
back to do it?
sucks. Yeah,
Ah,
sometimes
okay.
it's just slow and
Yeah.
it's easy to make a mistake. Is what my point.
Yes, that's fair.
One from Potatoes for Seamus says Raymond G. Stanley is the best. Just accept it.
Thank you, Potatoes for Seamus.
He is a fan favorite.
He
He's
is
great.
We're gonna have to bully him into coming on tomorrow, so that since he was late today, he's a fan favorite.
He's been busy today.
Yeah. Yeah,
He's a
you were out
busy man.
doing
I was,
stuff
yeah,
for.
getting the cafe ready to go.
How's that going?
Exciting.
Good.
I actually just
Good.
drove by it for the first time.
Really?
I mean, I think I might have driven by it before, but I don't go over that way very often.
I've only driven by
Yeah.
it a few times. I mean, it's not ready yet. So
Yeah.
I used to
myself
really like the building because of how old it was. It's got the old stairs, and then we had to carry up the mobile
yeah.
studio. And there, yeah, dude,
Was
3
the
flights
elevator
of
not working?
stairs. No, it's like one of the oldest elevators in the country, so it's got problems.
But we did buy an automatic dolly machine
I've
hand
seen
truck,
it,
and
yeah.
it works.
Sweet.
Yeah, we traded out. We put Brian on it and me on it.
Oh my goodness!
So it works.
You should
We-
have done a video.
You guys aren't inviting me to all these cool parties.
Oh, you
at
want
the
to
cafe.
carry a bunch of stuff upstairs?
No,
please,
I wanna be pulled
please
up the
be my
dolly.
guest.
Oh, okay, okay.
She wants you to pull her up the stairs with the dollar.
Yes.
Oh,
with the dolly.
Why is this thing so heavy? It's
I'll
like,
carry some
like in the movies when they're
Yeah.
trying to push a car that's stalled out and there's someone like sitting on the
The
back. of
rumbling says, "What the f?" The frog song comes from Beverly Hills Cop. Yeah, but it's also played at sporting
It is-
events and stuff like that.
Now
too.
you know for sure.
Crazy Frog song?
Yeah,
It comes from what?
the movie Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the credits.
I did
That's
not
the
know
main
that.
one, right? That's the theme.
Yeah, they just made the new one, Beverly Hills Cop, Axel Foley,
And it didn't suck.
No, that's what most
Yeah.
people said. Is
Yeah.
that it was. I mean, I'm weary of anything that like they're making a new Lethal Weapon.
Oh.
And they're bringing back Mel Gibson and Danny Glover, and I'm just like, look, is the idea that they're at the old folks' home?
Yeah. Sure that for those guys.
Like they're not young.
They should actually do that, though.
Like
they should just
they
lean
solve
into
a
it.
murder at their old
They're
folks' home.
overestimating the value of nostalgia. Like they really are. Because like if I eat the same flavor ice cream every day, I'm not gonna like it anymore. And that's how I feel about these movies. Like I'm glad that movie was a success, but please, like, dude, like just make something new.
It was a little woke too, real quick. Had only it was like 5 minutes of wokeness of like stupid bad wokeness, but the rest of it was fine.
Well, and usually that'd be okay, but now because of like just the culture war and how there's so many bad movies out there, you can't help but notice it. Just completely takes you out of the moment.
Yep. Yeah, that's the problem, is that it transports you out of the story and puts you very firmly in the real world, which is where nobody wants to be when you're in the middle of watching something. I would rather a movie just embrace it entirely. It wouldn't be for me, but at least then it goes the whole way. All that tells me is that there was poor story editing. and that it was somebody's job to be like, look, this doesn't fit the rest of the tone of the film. Why is it in there?
Well, even in the new Deadpool movie, I thought it was the correct way to go about it, where they're like, we're not going to address any of these social, political issues. So he starts listing, he's like, and that's my opinion on XYZ, 1, 2, 3, ABC. And he lists off like all the major issues. But I'm like, that wasn't necessary. Like, I get it. That's a funny joke. You just gloss all over it all so you don't have to like revisit it at any point in the movie. But I'm like, how about just, you don't have to address it at all. Like, you're not going to offend anyone by not mentioning it.
I feel like it was a cop-out for, what was that, a DC movie or Marvel? I never know. But yeah, I feel like it was a cop-out for Marvel because they just cannot help but put wokeness in their movies. And I think they think their audience wants it. I'm not sure whether or not they do. But it sounds like that was just an easy cop-out where they're like, we get to win the best of both worlds.
I can't explain it. Maybe I'm naive, but like, I just like the amount of people that keep trying the same thing that's been shown to fail over and over again. It makes me really start to believe the conspiracy theorists when they're like, hey, there's like foreign, there's like other governments that are, infected Hollywood to try to push certain messages. I almost believe it at certain times because of just like, they know that this formula fails and they keep trying it over and over.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of evidence of foreign investment in American movies.
Yeah, that's not a conspiracy.
China has in the past had a lot of investment in American movies, but nowadays China just does their own thing and they don't even need American movies for their own box office to succeed. They only let in, I think, like 20 or so American movies a year, and and they're very heavily edited.
And you see Disney and like even the NBA bending over backwards to change to like make their content China friendly. And I'm like, oh my! I mean, I guess when you've got an economy with 1 billion plus people, you're gonna do whatever it takes.
I mean, then go out. Then India is your next market.
Yeah, well, they've been fine with their own it's Bollywood, right?
Yes.
Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
They've been fine with that for decades.
But I'm saying that they've already done that. They did the Bollywood scene in the Marvels, and like they try to find ways to fit it in there in American movies that don't actually fit.
People like America, like for better or worse, people like America. So if you make a pro-America movie, it's going to resonate everywhere. Honestly, that's my opinion. Like, I truly believe it.
The Rumbling says, oh no, I'm sorry. Red Snow says, but does Raymond G. Stanley praise Space King?
No comment.
He's going to leave that one up for interpretation. Potatoes for Seamus says, Shimcast ate Tim's socks. No taters for him now. Just kidding.
He did.
Yep. DCNC says, play the Mocha Meow for Kellen and Sarah. They heard it.
We did.
It's awful. It's awful. Yeah.
It sounds like she has a lot of like something stuck in the back of her throat.
Yes.
Like she's got to clear her throat or something.
Something awful, like her.
I thought she got stepped on. Either OC stepped on her or pulled her tail. That's what it's kind of. If that's a natural
Is she
meow,
secretly abusing
that's how all her
if
meows sound.
that's insane, bro.
She just likes to eat gravel, and then that's how she sounds.
It's cute, but I could imagine at 3 a.m. maybe not so much.
It's not cute at 3 in the morning. It's not cute at 1 in the afternoon. It's not cute at 9 in the morning. It's not cute ever.
I picture Brett like in My Cousin Vinny when he's at the hotels. There's always something at 3 a.m. that wakes him up. Except it's Mocha.
It's Mocha. Yeah. Well, no, see, it only hurts her because I just turn over on my good ear and then I can't hear shit, so I don't have to worry about it. But if you want to torture yourself with this awful sounding meow, that's not my business. That's up to you. But I would choose that maybe no. It's just me. All right, guys, before we go, would you hit the like button on this video and subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already? Please and thank you. Tomorrow I will be wearing the wig again for the intro. You have succeeded, which means I have to wear it one more time. I'm going to make Kellen wear it again tomorrow too. He's going to do so.
Sure.
He's going to mew while he's doing it.
I want to put a different one on though. Tomorrow.
So hit the like button on this video and subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already. Sarah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. I had a blast today. Follow Casbrew Coffee on X at Casbrew Coffee. Follow Casbrew Coffee on Instagram at Casbrew_coffee. And go to Casbrew.com and buy some coffee right now.
Everyone loves coffee. I actually drank, I had a cold brew over the weekend. I never drink coffee voluntarily, and I did. And
I've never seen you drink coffee or heard of you drinking anything other than like Monsters and like energy drinks.
Yeah. All right.
I always have a blast here. I'm not sure about tomorrow. Depends on how my work day is. I got to do some work at Free Stand, but maybe. My name is Raymond G. Stanley Jr. Follow me on X.
All right. Kellen.
I'm going to use this opportunity to say if you guys are able to go and try to find a way to help the residents of Asheville and the surrounding
Agreed.
area.
Serious, or
Agreed.
You joking?
I'm not joking. This is very serious.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's crazy huge.
It's very bad, and no one's it's not really
Yeah.
getting national coverage like it should be. But if you can, within your means, try to help those people. Ryan Hall of the Y'all Squad, they're doing a ton of work. Nick Sorter's down there. He's helping people out. Do what you can. If not, just, repost and share messages that you see, because maybe other people will see it, but they need help.
Yeah.
Be safe.
Guys, if you'd like to follow me, Instagram and Twix, at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. This show is here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is noon Pacific. We are on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify if you would prefer to listen rather than watch this show. And if you want to follow the show on social media, we are on Twix, at PopCulture_show, Facebook and TikTok, at Pop Culture Crisis, except we're not on TikTok anymore because they banned us. And on Instagram, at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. We're going to read these last Super Chats here before we go. The Rumbling says Mocha is like the dog in Little Nicky. DCNC says it sure would be sad if Mocha went missing. Don't put that one out there, man, because then if something happens, I'm going to get blamed. High Voltage 75 says Vikings undefeated, Brett. They will defeat the Kansas City Swifties in the Super Bowl and bring the championship glory back to Minnesota. Well, I don't know about back because the Vikings have never won the Super Bowl, and I don't think any Minnesota sports team has won any championship of note since the Twins won the World Series in like 1991. Maybe there's some other less important sport in there. Maybe like did we win
WNBA?
Maybe the WNBA or something.
The Lynx? Is that what they are?
Yeah, the Lynx.
I think they're good. I don't know though.
So are they going to be able to take down Caitlin Clark? We'll have to wait and see. Potatoes for Seamus says we need a coffee called Mocha's Delight. And it makes you really hoarse, so you talk like that. Yeah.
It's really dark.
Yeah. And then Red Snow says, justice for Mocha is justice for all of us. Wrong. And John Barrett says, no Mocha, no peace. Wrong again. Wrong. My friend. Wrong.
I love that No Justice, No Peace is still around.
Yep.
From like years ago. 4 years. Jeez.
No justice, no pizza.
Ooh.
There will be no justice for Mocha, guys. We'll be back with another episode tomorrow. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.